definitely have to cut out that whole section of on the audio file because we've been going for 3 minutes and we said nothing.
Yeah.
That's okay. So, and then every now and then, we'll have to like check out the comments and stuff.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with like every now and then just going, but
yeah.
I watched a podcast the other day. Somebody I know, I won't say who it was, but they have no structure to their stuff, and it shows. But like we don't have a structure. I don't have a structure. I don't like having a structure. It's a little better if you do.
A little, yeah.
But it just, you can go off the rails really easily, and if you have what's called dead air, where you just kind of go, yep. What do you want to talk about? Like that shit, I can't stand that. Yeah. But I've been told I have like a pretty good skill of like carrying things.
Yeah.
Like I don't mind awkward pauses. Sometimes you need those.
It happens.
On Seinfeld, that's how you have sex. You ever watch that show, Seinfeld? I bring it up almost every podcast. Right?
I think I may have seen like a few episodes here and there. I never really like took the time to like sit down and actually watch it. But it's like if I've seen it on, it's just like, oh, okay, cool.
How old are you again?
I'm 27.
Yeah, tell everyone how old you are. Yeah, dude, I'm 27. I'm gonna be 28 this year, dude. I outlived Kurt Cobain, so I'm pretty proud of that. When I turn 28, then I'll have outlived all the 27 Club, obviously, as so will you.
Yeah.
And then, but I was thinking about that the other day, and some chick the other day was telling me, like, I'm so old. I'm going to be 27 this year. I'm like, fuck you. And you get those kids that are like, I'm so old. I'm 25.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. We all freaked out when we turned 25 because you're supposed to.
Yeah.
But I was just like, I'm over it already. I'm like, shut the fuck up, dude. Anyways, I was going to say on Seinfeld, there's this chick that Jerry's dating where they never have awkward pauses. So she's like, oh, she's just good conversation. And then it wasn't until they broke up they had an awkward pause in their conversation. They looked at each other and they just started banging on his counter too. But I'm like, I've never gotten laid off of an awkward pause, so it must have been a 90s thing. Yeah. So anyways, we don't really do a formal introduction, but I'll say, hey, Kristian.
Hello.
Thank you for coming on.
Everybody, no problem.
This is Kristian.
Hello.
Kristian P. You can say Paulie, but like it's fine. And we're probably going to be talking a lot about video games today because video games are the shit. We are not here to talk about the world because fuck the world. We're not here to talk about Trump. He's got enough shit on his plate. We're here to talk about nerd shit.
Oh, hell
because that's where I met you. I met you in line at GameStop.
At GameStop. It was the midnight release for Watch Dogs.
What?
Yeah, it was the midnight release for Watch Dogs.
Hold on. No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
Was it really?
It was because you were
I didn't even buy it.
No, yeah, I remember that. You were.
We got Dylan watching. Thanks for tuning in, Dylan.
Blue.
How's it going, man?
It was you and John Kepsel, who I actually went to elementary school with.
Yeah.
And you two were playing Mario Kart 8.
Like on a kiosk or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
On like the Wii U.
Oh, Jesus.
And I just kind of like walked by you guys, and I was wearing that Pokemon shirt that had Arcanine and Gyarados on it.
Oh, okay.
And it was like the dragon and tiger thing. Mm-hmm. And you saw my shirt and like, dude, that shirt is so awesome.
Oh yeah.
And then we just kind of like just started talking, and like before we started it, we became friends on Facebook, and here we are.
Good. I mean, you have a better memory than I do, and I mean, I remember that, but that's a long time ago.
Yeah.
That was probably like, Watch Dogs 1 was released, I want to say 2014, 2015?
I'm not sure.
I want to play the second one so bad. It looks neat. It's sunny. I didn't even get the game that night, but I played it and I was obsessed with it. I loved it. I loved every second of it. So it was new. It was something new.
It was. Yeah. It definitely was. And I enjoyed it while I played it, but then I got up to a certain part in the story. I got stuck. I I never really picked it up again.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's honestly, that's one of the worst feelings to me as like a gamer is like when you get stuck in a game. I did that with Prey really recently.
Oh really?
Have you played the new Prey?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you beat it? Did you beat it?
No.
Oh,
I still.
Yeah. It's hard, dude. I was playing on easy. I can't even beat it.
Really?
It sucks. I mean, the game's awesome. I just suck.
Oh, it was. It was great. I loved it.
It's super sci-fi too, and
Oh, yeah.
I was playing it like right around the time I was like getting obsessed with Blade Runner.
Oh, really?
The new Blade Runner was coming out.
Yeah.
And I was just freaking out about how awesome the music is and how neat, like
Yeah.
just that sci-fi shit. I loved it.
Reminded me so much of BioShock, and in such a good way, because I love BioShock.
Yeah.
The first one is probably like my second favorite game ever.
Really?
Oh yeah, I loved it. I love just everything that was on it, like the story and how fun it was to like just go back and do it again, like so many times, because it could be so different. Even if you know where everything is and everything, with that game, it just you can have like different things happen to you in each different playthrough, and I thought that was really fun with it.
Dude, I'm the exact same way. I picked up the HD collection like the night it came out.
Oh yeah,
And I remember.
I think I did too.
Did you know that BioShock 1 is considered the game of the generation for the 360 and PS3 era?
I wouldn't be surprised.
It's considered the best game that ever came out for that console set.
I wouldn't be surprised. I loved that game.
Oh, I still do. Yeah.
Wow.
I still have Songbird. You saw out there the statue.
Songbird and the Big Daddy.
The Big Daddy statue, yep.
Which I loved at the end of BioShock Infinite. Not like end to end.
Oh,
but,
yeah, where you find out.
Where you go, where Elizabeth opens, spoiler for some old odd game.
Yep, it's been out for over 5 years. Get your shit together if you already aren't.
When Elizabeth opens up the tear right after she gets her whole powers back, and it takes you to Rapture. And I was just kind of like, oh my god, this is so awesome.
Did you ever play Burial at Sea?
Yes.
Okay,
I played both. I played both of those expansions, and that was great.
True ending. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where
the end of the second one.
Where you find out Booker is the guy from the first game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. That's so neat.
That was great.
But
and
I remember thinking it was such a cop out though. Of I was like, dude, okay, the infinite universe is shit that had been done to death.
Yeah.
I'm sick of it already. And then
I still liked it though, simply because it did help with the story, and it wasn't just story too. Like it was stuff with gameplay too, being able to like open up all the different tears and stuff, which I thought was really great and added to that.
Yeah, I still like it. Like I blasted through them, the new ones again, and I plan on going back and getting everything. I did 1,000 point the original on Xbox 60. Yeah, I got the brass balls achievement.
I don't think I only had like a few achievements to get with the original one back on the 360, and it was the brass balls one, and like I think you had to like craft a certain amount of
53. I think
there was 50, or something like that.
There was like 55 in the game, and they wanted you to find 53.
Yeah,
something like that.
So.
It wasn't
and
all
then
of them, but
and then I also think like getting a few certain amount of tonics as well.
Yeah,
and that was about it.
I remember my friend had the guide. And I used that. This is like before there's anything on YouTube. This is like 2008.
I think I had it as well.
Yeah. Oh man, I wish I still had it. I
still do.
I started keeping guides. I used to throw them away. I know. I'm such an idiot, dude.
No way. The only reason I have some that are still at my mom's place, and I can't really keep them because there was a bottle of lotion or whatever, something that was down there. Yeah. And it like got like on a bunch of my strategy guides. One of them was my Fallout 3 strategy guide.
I still have that one.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Mine was a hardcover.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mine's a soft cover.
Mine was a hardcover.
That must be worse because it makes you have to throw it away.
Yeah.
Whereas,
even worse was we had some N64 games down there too, and that shit got into those. Yeah. It's just like, oh god, no.
Just wipe them off. No, that's really sad, dude.
Yeah, I've got at my place a little hallway and little closet thing. Like I just got like a bunch of strategy guides. All of them I got right there
That's why I was never going to put the lotion next to my video games. I thought of this a couple of years ago, and it made me super sad, but I'm sure they'll come out with a solution for it. Eventually, they're going to come out with a bunch of N64 games playable at least at one spot. They have to.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if they're doing a remaster of the NES, they did the SNES.
They did the NES.
There's got to be
N64 eventually.
Eventually, yes.
Eventually.
This is what I thought of. Have you ever seen a worn-out N64 controller? Do you know what it looks like? It's the stick, the spring breaks, and it just lays to the side. You can still play, but it's a bitch. Now think about this. Those springs were made in the early 90s. Through moisture and time, they are wearing down. So eventually, this is super sad, but bear with me. Eventually, there will never be a playable N64 controller, and eventually, all those games will just be useless.
No,
think about that. Think about that. All the Mad Catz controllers, all of like the third-party developers that made these fucking weird controllers, you will never ever be able to play this again because they'll all eventually break. The new ones will wear out too. They'll wear out way down the road when we're all fucking senile and old because they're made of great material now. Back then, because remember they only had D-pads for the longest time, and now they have sticks, so the springs do wear out, and that's sad. And there will be a day, and it's unavoidable. It's like death. It's
Speaking of N64, back on Friday they just released the first 2 Turret games on Xbox Arcade.
I saw that.
Oh, I'm like, as soon as I got home from work, I downloaded them and I immediately started playing the second one.
Are they remastered or are they just are they upscaled?
Kind of, sort of.
Do you know what I mean by upscaled? It's presented in the same format, but just because it's running through high definition, it looks better by default.
I think so. I think that's what it is.
A remaster would be like Shadow of the Colossus.
No, they didn't go like full bore upgraded graphics.
Yeah,
it would have been great, but they still kind of like kept that old look to it.
Good.
But did at least like do newer stuff. Like you can tinker with the controls and set stuff to how you want things.
Oh, nice. So there are upgrades to it.
Yeah.
Just so you know, I just want to point this out. If you ever see that and get discouraged, that is not our actual viewer count.
Oh.
That's just, it's really, really delayed. We probably have multiple viewers. If someone in the comments can tell us how good we're sounding, we had to redo some of the sound stuff, like always, but I just like to have a general idea of how we sound because I've done sound checks where we sound perfectly fine, and then once we get going, it sounds like shit. So, yeah. I usually offer guests like soda, water, beer, wine, or whiskey. I bought some whiskey, but
I brought my own.
You did?
I did.
Oh my God.
No, not whiskey.
Oh, soda.
I was just saying like
because we're children. But no, dude. I drank, like I told you, I drank some scotch or something. I feel like shit. I feel fine now, but when I first woke up like a couple hours ago, I was like, oh God.
I woke up. I was up till like 1 o'clock last night, and I woke up at like 8:30, something like that.
Nice. You got some decent sleep. I was up till 6, and I got up at like 10:30. But then last night, or the night before, I was up till 5:30 in the morning beating the Elite Four on Pokemon Crystal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I bought the digital thing from the 3DS.
I've got Silver downloaded.
Silver. I have red, blue, yellow, gold. No, red, blue, yellow, silver, and crystal. And I'm gonna buy gold eventually. I want all of them.
I've got I only have silver for the downloaded ones.
Oh, nice.
But I've got physical copies for platinum, black, soul silver, sun, Y, and the Ruby remake.
Oh, Omega Ruby.
Omega Ruby.
Yeah. I promised a friend of mine that I would get Omega Ruby or Alpha Sapphire. He was going to get the other one, but he stopped playing Crystal. So now I told him to fuck himself because I'm not doing it. My buddy Shane might do it with me, though, because he's he's faithfully, I guess I could say, going through Crystal with me. Like,
Oh yeah.
I'll like ask him like, how far are you getting? He's like, oh, I beat 2 gyms the other day. Like, he's still going. My other friend's like, oh, I'm just really busy. I'm like, it doesn't take much to just pick it up and like go to the next city. Just go to the next city or advance the storyline, like beat Team Rocket or something.
Well, I also, like GameStop has like that little retro section now. They've got like a little tiny retro section that's around like where they sell the like 3DS and DS games in that, and they've got Game Boy Advance games.
Really? I didn't see that. Oh, man.
It's really tiny spot. And I
didn't see it.
I saw James had posted a picture telling, like, on Facebook showing that they had that. And out of the corner of my I saw they had Final Fantasy Tactics Advance.
Oh, neat.
And I was just like, oh, I loved that game so much.
Yeah.
And the last time I played it was back in middle school. I was borrowing it from a friend, and I let a friend of mine borrow Fire Emblem from me. And I lost my Game Boy with Final Fantasy in it.
Ooh.
And so my friend also kept Fire Emblem ransom from me until I could get another copy and get it back, which I never got to do.
Really unfortunate.
Yeah. So it's like I saw that and I'm just like, oh. So it's like I went to GameStop one day and I went there to see if it's still there. Gone. Like, oh no. And I was talking to do you know Chandel that works there?
Yeah.
The blonde hair?
Yeah.
And I was talking to her.
The
like,
only girl, I think.
I think there's like one other one.
I never see anyone else. So.
And I'm just like, yeah, I'm like super bummed out that was gone. I'm really hoping for that, you know. And so a little bit later, she sends me a picture on Facebook. She's like, "You're the one who wanted this, right?" I'm like, yes.
Oh, she saved one for you?
She saved one for me, so it's like, oh, that's great.
That's pretty neat.
But then I didn't have anything I could play Game Boy Advance games on, so then I had to go onto Amazon and like order a DS Lite and.
Oh, because they have the slot for it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just like
interesting. How much was your DS Lite? $100, maybe less.
It was less than that. I know for sure.
Good.
I think it was like 60, 70, maybe 80.
Because my buddy Shane was talking about he's got a bunch of Pokemon games for Game Boy Advance.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want to play on Game Boy Advance. I remember straining my eyes to see it, and I need a backlight, and the DS has that.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about getting that.
Also, speaking of Game Boy Advance, Ruby is probably my favorite generation.
I had Ruby. That's when I stopped. I think I beat the Elite Four. I had the guide too. I don't know where it is.
Oh, yeah?
It's years ago, dude. I had the guide. I beat the Elite Four, and I think that might have been it.
See, I didn't
stopped after that. That was the end of my childhood.
I didn't get Ruby until like after the DS came out.
Yeah. So
it was really hard to find. And back when GameStop was still at the mall.
Mm-hmm. I was talking about that the other day.
I went there and I saw they had Ruby, and then there was also either Fire Emblem or Fire Red I could buy. And it's just like, oh, I don't know which one I want. And then I just kind of like picked up Ruby, and I was glad. I'm looking back and I'm glad I did because I loved Ruby. Yeah. It was great. That's easily like my favorite region.
Hoenn.
Johto is, it's really close though between Hoenn and Johto, but Hoenn like just barely beats it for me.
Johto's my favorite because it just felt old, like it felt ancient.
Oh yeah.
Like it felt like I was taking a step back in time when I played it in a good way.
Oh yeah.
When I played Omega Ruby for like 5 minutes, I fucking hated it.
Really?
It was like this new perspective where it was like not over the shoulder, but like they brought the camera instead of top down, they brought it like kind of behind you. And I'm like, I hate this. I can't see where I'm going.
I thought it wasn't that bad.
Oh, I'm just not used to it. I'm sure it's great, but I'm like, oh, I hate this.
Well, that was only like the second Pokemon game in 3 days. Because
right
before that, it was X and Y, which I thought those were kind of bland. Because I have all 8 gym leaders beaten. I still need to do the Elite Four, but it's just like wasn't too much in the environment which really like stuck out to me, which I thought kind of sucked. There was only maybe like one town I really like, which was at the end. It was like a snow level, like a snow city,
Yeah.
and that's really the only reason why. Because I like first it's like I like fire levels too, really, and then after that I like snow and ice levels. So it's like you get that snow and ice level in there for me, and I'll be okay.
That's weird that you say that. Is like, and then the ice one was like the final one you said.
Yeah.
In Johto, Blackthorn, where you beat the Dragon Masters.
Yeah.
That's supposed to be a snow level, but it's in a mountain.
Yeah.
Like it's on a mountain peak. It's so weird that like I wonder if that's a theme because the final level in I want to say in Kanto, that's Viridian City.
Yeah.
But Cinnabar is before it.
Yeah.
Cinnabar, yeah,
fire type.
Yeah, and then you're supposed to like no one does it. You just fly to Viridian. But like the idea, I remember reading this a long time ago. The idea was that you're supposed to sail back up into Pallet Town, and that's supposed to be like your triumphant return or whatever. So
yeah, I can kind of see that.
Yeah, they planned that off of the original anime ending like that because originally they wanted to do it where he would never find out who Ho-Oh is.
Oh, really?
The first time, he's in the first episode, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. They were gonna have like a final mini series where he takes every Pokemon, and they were just gonna do like a montage where he catches all the ones that they don't show.
Mm-hmm.
And their plan was that he was gonna go to the Cerulean Cave and face Mewtwo with everything.
That would have been great.
And then at the end, he was gonna wear Mewtwo down with every single Pokemon, and then it was gonna be Pikachu versus Mewtwo at the end, and he's right about to defeat Pikachu, like he was about to lose, but then the script was he was supposed to acknowledge Ash as the greatest trainer, and he said there's only been one person that came this close and failed, and that was your father.
Oh wow!
But they were gonna say where he went. He tried, he failed, and he went away because Ash's dad never comes back.
Yeah.
But then Mewtwo says, I'll never get in a ball for you, but if you need me, you can call for me, and I'll come. It's like, but you have all of them, so what does it matter?
Yeah.
So that's why they didn't finish it. And then there's this, also I heard they made the final episode. You know that?
Oh,
they
really?
did it, and they used footage from it in this music video. It was called To Be a Master, and there's a picture, the graphic of like Ash, Misty, and Brock were riding into Pallet Town on Lapras.
Oh, yeah?
And he had all his Pokemon flying with him. And the ones that couldn't fly were being carried by like Zapdos and Articuno and Moltres.
Oh,
they were being carried away, like all the land Pokemon. And everyone was there welcoming home except his mom. And his mom was just at home. And she goes, "Why weren't you at my welcoming party, Mom?" And he goes, "Because I knew you would do it."
That's great.
And she goes, "I knew you'd do it. Now help me with the dishes." and Ash just goes, all right. And that's supposed to be how it was going to end.
That would have been great.
Because it's like, yeah, you're the greatest of all time, but to me, you're still my boy.
Yeah.
Like, get your ass on those dishes.
That actually reminds me, too, I saw this crazy, kind of silly theory about why Ash never ages.
Oh, Jesus.
And so in the very first episode, he sees Ho-Oh. And I guess in one of his Pokedex entries, it's where, like, if you see Ho-Oh, you can, like, have your wish granted or whatever. And Ash's is to, like, forever be on a Pokemon journey. And that's why he doesn't.
No.
I heard that. I'm like, oh, wow.
I think that does sound kind of cool. Like, that is really neat. I think I read that he sees Ho-Oh in the first episode, but then he sees him on the final episode of the original anime. Because the next anime, I guess, is the start of, like, some different gen, like X and Y or some shit. But he sees Ho-Oh, and then, or no, I think he might face Ho-Oh. Or no, he faces him in Ecruteak. But he doesn't get all the gym badges. He just fucks off somewhere and goes somewhere else. I've started watching the Kanto Yeah, the Kanto journeys or the Indigo League, where it goes all the way up to I think he loses. Because did you know he goes to the Indigo Plateau and he loses?
Oh, really?
You never saw that? I saw that as a kid when it premiered.
I remember that.
The best, I'm going to spoil it for you because it's been like 1999.
Oh, yeah.
He's only allowed to use like one Pokemon, and he faces off. He becomes like best friends with this kid he meets there. And then the final match is like him versus his friend. And you get to use like a couple Pokemon, and it's 1-1, and then all of a sudden he sends out a Pikachu with like extra hair here. It's like a little mohawk. Do you remember this?
I think I remember that now.
Do you remember how he loses?
No.
He sends out Charizard, and he refuses to battle, and he loses by default. And Ash screams at Charizard, and he says, "You're worthless." Well, he doesn't say that, but like he basically was like, "You always do this. Why don't you listen to me?" And I think Charizard just leaves. He comes back, but he just flies away. He leaves the stadium like in front of everybody, and he doesn't come back. And then the last thing is they're sitting in the stadium with no one else, and they said, he says, "Ash, you got to promise me you're going to keep going." He says, "Well, I'm going," because this kid won the right to face the Elite Four. That's how they did it in the show. And he goes, "Ash, if I win, I'm going to have to stay here, but you get to keep having an adventure. Because if you become the champion, you have to stay there and defend the title." And he goes, "I have to stay here, but you get to keep going." He says, "I don't know who I'm jealous of." And then that's how it ends. And then there's a couple episodes of filler where like he comes home and his mom like throws him a party. There's one where his Pidgeotto falls into Pidgeot and defeats Team Rocket. There's one where his Tauros get loose at the Pokemon Ranch with Professor Oak. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, there was like this stretch of like there was no new episodes. And right when summer hit, they announced the Johto journeys. It was like right after the game came out, and I freaked out.
Because I think one of my favorite things of Charizard from the anime was the third Pokemon movie.
Where he saves Ash.
Ash and he fights Entei. Yeah. Oh my god, I loved that. That was great for me.
That was after he started obeying him. Because remember, Charizard was going to die.
Yeah.
And Ash saved him.
And I think Charizard, he went off to like this...
The Charcific Valley.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where he was watching this news broadcast because Entei's terror was like all over the news. It wasn't like a secret like the islands were with the birds. Yeah. That's my favorite movie.
Oh, is it 2000?
Yeah.
I did like that one.
I fucking love it. I saw all three in the theater, actually.
Oh, really?
When I was a kid, yeah.
I haven't watched anything past 3.
Neither have I watched the Celebi one that was stupid.
Oh, really?
You know, like how Celebi is supposed to be even rarer than Mew?
Oh, really?
Like, Mew is like supposed to be like the lost Pokemon. Celebi is supposed to be like this being from another dimension. And then like the Celebi's dying in Ash's arms, and all of a sudden he prays to it, and an army of Celebi come down and take this new one, and they revive it, and they all fly off. It's like, oh, so there's just a colony somewhere? Like, that just ruined my perception of all of these things. But I want to finish. They have like 54 episodes, I think, of the Indigo series on Netflix. And then I think there's X and Y maybe. Oops. I'm actually gonna look because I would like to start, but if there's like going to be these massive gaps, like all of a sudden Ash is like done with Kanto, and now he's just like 9 generations later or some shit.
Yeah, that would be kind of silly.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
What was I going to say? I think it was simply just because of the anime that like Charizard became my favorite Pokemon.
Yeah,
I loved him. He's great.
It's like it was everybody's favorite. It was like he was the poster boy for the entire series. A lot of people say it was Pikachu. But but like when it came to like rarity for cards, it was Charizard.
I watched like a video now where like people had to guess like the rarity of like different versions of Pokemon cards with the same Pokemon, and the most like all of Charizard's cards were like, I think one of them was like $1,000.
Yeah,
I was just like
the shadowless one. with the misprint.
I think one of them was the misprint. I can't remember exactly, but I just saw that and I'm like, good Lord, it's so cool. I both loved it, and at the same time, it's just like, wow.
I don't normally do this, but I have the cards here. Actually, I'm gonna take the things off. I have them. I better, unless they're gone.
That would suck.
No, they're in the corner. I'm not getting those.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'll show you after the podcast, but I do have a Charizard. I do have one, actually. I kind of ruined the Negan poster there. But
yeah.
Negan's here for Walking Dead because it's The Walking Dead today. I did not see the new episode, though, so don't spoil it for me. So Pokemon is the Indigo League. There's Pokemon... it doesn't even say this. Kalos, that's X and Y.
Yep.
And then there's XYZ. And then Pokemon Clash of the Ages. That's a film.
Oh. I
think XYZ might be a film also. It is. No, it's a season. It's one season. There's Pokemon Volcag.
I think I'd be able to pronounce it if I see it. Volcanion?
Volcanion, yeah. That's a movie.
Yeah.
And then Cocoon of Destruction. Yeah. And then there's Pokemon Happy Birthday to You. It's 1 minute. And it's just they sing Happy Birthday or something. But there's, and then there's Yu-Gi-Oh, Skylanders, Beyblade, Ninja Go, Yokai, Naruto, more Beyblade, How to Train Your Dragon, Troll Hunters, Captain Underpants. Oh, that's the new movie. I think Ed Helms does that voice. Kevin Hart's in it too. I guess.
I gotta tell you, My Hero Academia. I don't know if you've.
I heard of it.
It's great.
But when I was working at Hot Topic, I don't remember much of the details.
I don't think they have stuff for it at Hot Topic though, which I think kind of sucks. Oh. It's a great series.
What's it about? That's probably a school, isn't it? They're always in school.
So like 80% of the human population has like superpowers or quirks. And so because of it, like cramping.
No, that's good. Yeah. Get comfortable. They're not very comfy, are they?
So because of like these quirks and things coming on, it created a new profession, being superheroes.
Okay.
And so the main character is this 14-year-old boy who was born without a quirk, but he still wants to try and become a superhero. And it just pulls you in, and I don't even know where to even start about how I loved it so much. I think I got pulled in like after like the second or third episode.
Really?
And yeah, so I'm waiting for the third season to start, which is supposed to start like next month.
Oh, nice.
So spoilers or whatever, I don't think you care. He gets powers from like his biggest icon. Like there's a superhero like he absolutely worships, and he manages to like actually like inherit his idol's superpower, and he's able to go to this school to train superheroes. And it's really great. The fight scenes, one of the fight scenes I think in that series is probably one of my favorite anime fight scenes ever. It was so good. I can't even like just describe how it is. It's really something you gotta like go try it out for yourself.
Where can I watch this?
Hulu.
Hulu.
I know Hulu.
Yeah.
Hulu. It has the first season dubbed, but for some reason it doesn't have the second season dubbed. But it has the second season subbed, which is Japanese voices with
Yeah.
the texts.
I prefer dubbed, but a lot of people yell at me for that. But fuck those people. Sorry.
Well, I don't mind either one. Like, it depends on the voices. Because with Naruto, his English voice is so cringeworthy, but he sounds so much nicer in the Japanese version. So it's like there are times where it's like I don't mind watching the subbed stuff as opposed to dubbed. In My Hero Academia, the dubs are so good. Like, I tried watching subbed, and I couldn't do it. This dubbed voices are amazing.
Good.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
That's good. No, I couldn't watch something freaking is like not dubbed in English. I can't do it. I mean, there's a movie that I really like. It's from oh man, where's it from? It's Bolivia or some shit. It's some South American country. It might not even be South American, but it's a movie called The Raid.
Oh, I heard about that.
Yeah, it's a super fucking awesome like martial arts movie.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
All the stunt people are like at least black belts or higher, so they know how to take a punch. They know how to throw a punch. They know how to get hit, or they know how to like fucking like get really hurt, like or make it look like they're getting
sell
really hurt.
Really well.
They can sell it, yes, and like
they say in the wrestling business.
Yeah, in the movie, a lot of the people, like the if it's dubbed in their native language, it's just obvious. I want to hear what they're saying, but the English dub is just awful. But I need to have it because it'll be like, okay, we are going into the building, and then we're gonna shoot the bad guys.
It's more like robotics. Yeah,
it's really robotic. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Have you? So you said you weren't really into shows much anymore, like live action.
Not too much.
Like cartoons and anime and stuff. Have you heard of this show called Westworld?
I have heard of it. Yes.
Oh my god.
I've heard it's really good.
It's so good.
Is it?
It's dude. This show.
Well, it's
when you were talking about how you waited till episode 3 to pull you in of My Hero Academia. When I was watching Stranger Things, it took 4 episodes to pull me in.
Oh yeah.
Westworld, 10 minutes.
Oh really?
I was so gripped by this fucking show. It's about these robots who become self-aware. It's basically Blade Runner the show.
Oh
and
really?
It's these robots that are in. First of all, the show I can't stress this enough. Get somebody who has HBO or steal their account or start watching HBO and watch Westworld. It is as good, not better, as good as Game of Thrones. And it's on one season.
Oh, really?
Game of Thrones just ended season 7.
Yeah.
Dude, first of all, the original script for Westworld was made by a guy named Michael Crichton or Crichton.
Oh, Michael Crichton.
Crichton. So, Jurassic Park.
He had Timeline.
Yep. I have a Timeline, the book, sitting out there.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. I went to a wedding, and the party favor was all these old books were on the table. She goes, just have them. They're old. They're fucking really, really old, dude. Yeah, I got the Crichton one. But he wrote this movie. He did this movie in the 70s called Westworld, and it was about this theme park where the richest people in the world is $40,000 a day to go to this park, and it stretched across like a couple 100 miles. But you get to go there and live your fantasy, and this was called Westworld. You would go back to the Old West, and every person there would like come up to you and like they say there's like a couple of guys dragging this old homeless guy through the street by his neck by a rope, and they're cowboys because cowboys were evil as shit. That's what people forget. Someone says, "Can anybody help this man?" And you get a gun when you walk in. So if you shoot him, you're a hero. But now this old guy is like, I have an opportunity for you. They were after my treasure. And then you there's 50 storylines you can do no matter what. Or you can just sit there and bang whores all day. Well, that's what if you want to do that, that's what you can do. And every person that works there's a robot.
Oh, wow.
Yup. Dude. And you can't tell. and if they break down, like they're robots at the end of the day, so they just go like that if they freeze up or whatever.
Yeah.
But they're lifelike. And the beginning episode is they start going off script, and you don't know until the end, and then all of a sudden they say this to this girl. She goes, "You would never hurt a fly. You would never kill any living thing, right?" Of course, I do not hurt living things. And then at the very, very end of the first episode, you see like throughout the whole episode, you see that like flies are crawling on their face because it's the Old West.
Yeah.
But there's flies, but they don't feel it because they're robots. And then all of a sudden at the very end of the episode, there's a fly on her neck and she swats it.
Oh, wow.
And she goes, And that's the end of the episode. So not only does she kill, she also feels.
Wow.
And the fucking season is so gnarly. It is one of the most gruesome, graphic shows I've ever seen. There's a lot of nudity. There's a lot of heads exploding from gunshots and shit. There's a lot of violence. And it ends. There's a part in the end, and it's not a big spoiler. They're walking by this. It's like the year 2050 or something. And they're walking through this lab. And these tourists are like, "What the fuck is that?" And they look over, and they're training samurais. And they're like, he goes, "It's very complicated." So not only there's not only a West world, there's a Japan world, but which they actually just announced it's called Shogun World.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's
dude,
great.
it's they're geared. They were supposed to premiere a new season this year. Last year, 2017. They skipped it so they could make it that much better. And it's already on one season, and it's already as good as Game of Thrones. The guy who directs it, it's directed by a man and a woman, but the guy who directs it is Christopher Nolan's brother.
Oh, really?
Nolan, who made the Dark Knight trilogy and
Yeah.
Interstellar and Inception. Dude, it's a fantastic show. If you have HBO, which I don't know if you do or not.
I don't think I have HBO.
I'm stealing from my friend's account, so I can't give you his password. But dude, I tell everybody to watch it. I don't care about your preference of like show or like I don't like Game of Thrones, so I'm not gonna fucking watch this show. Watch this show over Game of Thrones. I say watch Game of Thrones. I don't care. That's how every person dies in the first 4 seasons, so don't look at it. Yeah, I mean, you can't really tell. It's called A Beautiful Death, and it's like all these, each one was done by a different artist, but it's done in a specific style, as you can see. Yeah, each death is a major moment from the show, and they gave it to a bunch of like 20, 30 different artists, however many pictures are there. And they're like, you have to do it in a specific style, but it's up to you how you might want to make it look.
That's great.
No, yeah, it's cool. One of my old roommates bought it, and he never took it back when he left.
Oh, there you go.
There's Negan.
You just keep it.
No, I'm fucking keeping it. He'll have to kill me to get it back. I love that poster.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the last time I was doing the podcast, it's like the doors are so bland and blank. And then so I'm like, I'll put something up so people have something to look at. I put the Geralt statue like right there, and it was like staring at people the whole time. And it was facing the camera, so it was like this. But I'm like, that's funny. It's like something to look at in the background. But I mean, if you listen to it, no one fucking knows. I have a couple of things I want to bring up. I took notes.
Oh, there you go.
I got to reply to a text quick. All right. Have you played Assassin's Creed Origins?
Yes.
Okay.
I had it on day one.
I did too, but I barely play it. So please, no spoilers to a degree. I know I should have finished it already. I
haven't beaten it yet either.
I've got like 5 or 6 games I need to play before it. This was not in the news, but like it was on this gaming. It was on IGN, Ubisoft is censoring the statues in the new DLC.
What?
They used historians for years to work on this game, like actual historians, to make it as accurate as possible to Egypt.
Yeah.
And they had statues of nude women.
Oh yeah, in Alexandria.
Yep.
Because that was how Greece was.
Well, yeah. And
I imagine you had
people
who were
they censored it. They're going to censor it, or they already did. And the reason being is because women, moms of kids are saying, well, my son shouldn't have to play this game where he's seeing breasts running down the street. And here's the fucking thing. I'm really pissed about it because, one, it's going for historical accuracy. Two, what the fuck are you letting your kid play a horribly rated M17? Yeah.
M-rated game.
Dude, are you shitting me? I wouldn't let my kids near this game.
See.
Yeah, go ahead. Let me hear your opinion on it.
When I was growing up, I had some M-rated games I played.
Me too.
Like Turok, Perfect Dark. But my parents were right there the whole time. Pretty much when I was playing it. So it's just like they kind of knew what I was playing and, making sure that was all right. Parents nowadays, it's just like it seems like they don't just give a shit.
They don't.
You've got the 12 and 13-year-olds on Call of Duty swearing at each other and crap. And it's just like,
I heard.
What are your parents doing?
I heard about my mom getting skull fucked so many times. I heard my mom was getting her butt fucked and raped by every fucking kid. I'm just like, well, you better pay her when you're done.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, dude, yeah, we're your fucking parents. Yeah. Holy shit. The only reason that this bitch was complaining and she got a bunch of women to rally with her was because, well, I don't want to deal with my kids. I don't want to go over there and shut it off. You should look into fucking games before you buy it. I can't tell you how many times I've been in GameStop, and especially for an M-rated release, and they start saying, do you know what's in this? Graphic nudity, graphic gore, violence, swearing.
And they just go, nope.
And they don't care. That's fine. I agree with that. If you are okay with having your kid play it, that's perfecto. But if
you're going to suddenly start complaining about what's in there and you know about it, it's just like, that's your own damn fault.
It fucking sucks. Like, we're missing out now on a great, genuine experience. The statues are still there, but they have seashells on their tits. So it's like, okay. So, like, now it doesn't really affect the gameplay, but it's censoring the art. You're not supposed to censor art because it's a free expression. And it is. These people paid maybe hundreds of millions of dollars to have this game as good as possible, and now because some twat in California who probably doesn't watch their fucking kids and pays the goddamn nannies to watch their kids, I noticed little Chance or Taden or whatever the fuck his name is, Taden, whatever the fuck, he was playing and I saw some titties on the fucking screen. Oh my god, that's bullshit. My kid should be able to cut throats and stab people in the chest without seeing nudity.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
One of the also things that really pisses me off is saying, video games are responsible for making kids violent and getting people. I'm like, no, it's not. I was playing M-rated games when I was young, growing up, and it's just like I don't get violent because of that. I got violent because they pissed me off.
Yeah, like, you don't know fucking violence until you've played Dark Souls and lost 5 hours to the same boss, which is on Twitch, and I fucking flipped shit once because I couldn't beat this fucking boss.
Really?
And thankfully no one was watching at the time. So I lost my fucking mind. I was embarrassed. It was embarrassing.
I think the only time I've ever actually gotten mad while playing a Dark Souls game is playing the first one, and it's the Abyssal Demon, I think it's called. It's still early in the beginning of the game. Like you fight.
That up. Go ahead, you can keep going.
Fight him on like this edge of a wall or whatever, and he can knock you off the wall, and you fall down and you die from it.
Asylum Demon?
No, not the Asylum Demon. It's the next boss after that. I can't remember.
Oh.
You're in the city. And
Oh,
you're like
yeah. He looks like a goat. Like he's got ram horns.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to climb up and do the plunge attack, right?
Oh, okay.
You never beat it?
I haven't done it. I haven't beaten him yet.
That's right. You
farthest-
were trying to make it through that game.
Yeah. I've played a little bit of the second one. I haven't gotten to any bosses yet in that one. Dark Souls 3, I had to start over. Bloodborne's the one in the farthest in terms of Dark Souls games.
Fuck. I know what you're talking about. I just can't. I don't know why I can't think of the goddamn name. You might as well just not play the first one for a while because it's going to get remastered anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm buying that shit, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck. I fucking 1,000 pointed the first game.
Oh,
I was insane, dude. I beat it on New Game Plus, where the health is doubled and your damage is cut in half.
Oh, really?
Oh, it's hard as shit, but
wow.
You get double souls.
Oh, really?
So you level up fast.
Level up a lot faster.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. But you when you start off,
Ooh.
it's tough. It's really fucking tough. Like you get clipped once. They're not more ferocious.
Oh,
they're
no.
the
It's
same
just they
speed.
do double damage.
They do double damage. Oh my god, it's hard, dude. But
It's
I had to beat it. And every time you start over, it compounds. So like they're doing quadruple damage. I think I got it to where if I got touched by a skeleton, I'd die.
Oh wow!
But I did it because I needed to keep I needed to keep restarting for a trophy or achievement. I was insane, dude. I love those games.
I know it's like that. You get up to a certain part in Monster Hunter, which I haven't gotten to yet, where they
the new one,
the new one, where they have what are called tempered monsters, and basically it's like they don't have more health, but their attacks are a lot more powerful. Pretty much. So
like tempered meaning like they're old.
It's basically they're a stronger version of like normal.
Oh, okay.
The normal,
like an upgraded
normal
one.
monsters. Yeah.
Do you know be a great fucking game is Monster Hunter, but you hunt Digimon.
Oh God.
I think that'd be kind of neat. Isn't that kind of what it's already now? Or you just hunt monsters?
You just hunt monsters.
I played one on the 3DS a long time ago and I did not like it.
I never played a Monster Hunter game before World, and I only got it because some friends of mine wanted me to get it and, we could play together. I have over 100 hours in it now.
Nice.
It's great. It's a lot of fun. And I will say this, you can't compare it to Dark Souls. You can't.
That's right.
It's not, I think, as hard as Dark Souls, because in this one, I think you can at least kind of like prepare yourselves for monsters you're going to fight, whereas in Dark Souls, it's just like, oh, okay, I'm just going to go in here, and I have no idea what the fuck I'm going to do.
That's the best part.
Yeah.
But Monster Hunter, you prep.
You can prep. If I would say the only reason you can't prep at all is if you don't know like what kind of monster you're going to be going up against in terms of story missions.
There's a story.
I
thought it was just like
there is a slight story to it where basically these monsters called elder dragons are migrating to a unexplored continent called the New World, and they do it like every decade or so, and now you're trying to find out like why these elder dragons are migrating to this new continent.
Okay.
So there is a story. It's not what the game is revolved around, but there is one there.
I have a couple friends that are playing it right now, and they've asked me to join, but I just say no, just because like it just doesn't appeal to me. I'm sure it's great. I'm sure it's an amazing game. I just personally, I just don't.
Oh yeah, that I understand. It's one thing if it's like, because this is another thing.
You're all good.
One thing that pisses me off is people will say, "Oh, this game is shitty," or "Oh, I hate this game," and I'm just like, "Have you ever played it?
No.
Have you ever played it?" Because I'm a big, obviously, I can't
Zelda.
can't really see.
You can turn towards the camera. Show him that cool shirt.
I'm a big time Zelda fan,
Fuck yeah.
and I'll get to Breath of the Wild later.
Yeah.
But being a Zelda fan, I've heard so many people say, like, "Oh, Zelda's for kids. Oh, I hate it." Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, have you ever played it? Have you ever tried it? Like, no, I don't play it because it sucks for kids. Blah blah blah. And she's like, oh my god.
Mm-hmm. You can't handle that shit.
I love Zelda for the simple fact of, well, Ocarina of Time was really what got me into this series. And it was fun. Like, I had so much fun with it, and I could go through the game again and again, and I couldn't get bored of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's still one of those games where even where I know where to go and what to do and where most of the collectibles are, it's like I still have like so much fun just going through it again and again. But as growing up, I can understand that, like, the series, it has a lot of really great lore and story to it. It's a very dark game, especially considering it's Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
Like, especially Zelda, Metroid, and even Pokemon has some dark stuff to it. And that's really why I love
animal slavery.
Well, not just that. I was at GameStop talking to some other people about it. Like, if you read some of the Pokedex entries for like the ghost types,
mm-hmm.
it's really dark stuff.
The Cubone one's really sad.
There's worse ones. There's
Cubone.
There's worse than
you gotta
Cubone.
Understand. I don't know anything past Gen 2.
Oh, I know.
Because I stopped.
But it's like if you do sometime, I don't know if it's something you actually will, but
I'd like to eventually get back into go back through them.
There's some ghost type Pokedex entries where it's just like, that is really dark. And back to Zelda,
mm-hmm.
I love the puzzles that have been in it, and just like this thing to like you go around and all of this stuff, which leads me to Breath of the Wild. It is my favorite game ever. I can easily say that.
Really?
It is my favorite game
of
ever.
all time.
Of all time.
Easily
beats Ocarina of Time for me.
It's the highest rated game already of all time.
It has had more perfect reviews than any other game reviewed by Metacritic.
Yep.
It was Ocarina of Time for the longest time. Simply because, as I said before, I could go through it again, no problems. In Breath of the Wild, you can be like in some place walking around, whatever, and something unexpected might happen that you might have never known before. And it's great. There are little things in this game that haven't really been done before in other stuff. Like, they have a really great water physics system. When it rains, it'll like douse campfires, it'll douse torches, and the NPCs react to the rain too. They'll like have their hands over their head, and they'll try to like run out of the rain and get into cover,
mm-hmm.
which was great. If it's thunderstorming out, metal weapons and stuff like that will actually attract the lightning, and it could kill you instantly.
Oh my god!
Yeah, like your stuff will like spark up for a bit on your back, which is just a quick warning to say you're about to be struck by lightning.
That's
so
awesome.
You can so you quick unequip stuff and whatever. You can use that like in combat too. Like your enemies might have a metal weapon, or you like throw down a metal weapon, and the lightning will strike that. I also love the amount of freedom that is in Breath of the Wild, because once you like get done with the main the little tutorial area, and it's not much of a tutorial, so you still kind of have to figure stuff out themselves, because there's no hand holding in this game.
That's what I've heard. Yeah,
there's almost no hand holding at all.
Yeah.
So once you get done with the little beginning area, you can go wherever the hell you want to. It's just
can't you go to the final boss right away too?
You can if you want to.
God, that's awesome.
You can do. The story is totally optional, and even if you do story stuff, you can do it in any order you want to. You can like climb any surface, barring inside like the 4 big dungeons and all the shrines, simply because that would like break the puzzles.
Yeah.
It's like there's great physics to it. The game is absolutely gorgeous. I think the last time I was on it, I was like just messing around, riding on my horse, and like just looking around at the scenery. It's such a gorgeous game and just so much fun. I only have, I think, maybe like 70 or 80 hours into it, because I have other games where I've spent more time with it.
Mm-hmm.
But Breath of the Wild, it's so above and beyond, for me personally, like anything I've really played before. And being a Zelda fan, it makes me so happy.
That's awesome, man.
And I think even better, too, is it deserved nothing less than Game of the Year, of course. And I know
it got a lot of those when it came out, or for the end of the year thing.
And I know you had all those Sony butthurt fans who are just like, "Oh, Horizon should have won. Oh, it was so much more original." And
it wasn't though.
But
Horizon, it copied a lot of stuff.
I was gonna say you played it.
I love Horizon. Yeah.
I've heard it's a great game, and it is.
Poster right there. Little poster. Yeah.
Little poster, but like I've heard it's a great game, and I wouldn't mind giving it a try sometime.
You've never played it?
I haven't played it.
Play it. Wait, don't you have PS4?
I do have.
Son of a bitch. Play it right now. Take my copy. I got everything done on it. So, yeah.
And I don't get me wrong. Like I heard it's a great game, and it's something that I might want to try out eventually sometime too. But it's like there's no way that's going to compete with something that Breath of the Wild has done. Because if you take away the Zelda name from Breath of the Wild, as I said before, you go wherever you want, and there's really like no limitations to like where you can go or whatever and all that, and I love it.
Damn, dude, you make me want to go buy a Switch right now. I plan on it. I got my taxes back, and I haven't spent any of it. And so I wanted to buy a 4K TV, but I don't have anything to output into it. Like I have a regular Xbox One. I have a slim PS4 that doesn't do 4K. I'd have to buy a 4K Blu-ray player or DVD player to even experience anything 4K. Yeah. And I'd have to upgrade my Netflix account. By the way, I saw it's like $2 extra. Oh. I saw 4K Netflix the other day. Holy shit. Major difference. From 1080 to 4K. Oh my God. My friend played a scene from Altered Carbon.
Wow.
And I wonder if I'm even getting picked up right now. When I was sitting way back here. Yeah, I am. Yeah. I just can't hear it in here. My friend played a scene from Altered Carbon, which I heard is amazing. It's another sci-fi show about about your consciousness is living in a different body somewhere. Yeah, it's super weird. I heard, but I saw this fight scene from it.
Yeah,
and oh my God, he played it in 4K. And it was like slow motion fire coming out of a gun. Like, God damn, that looks pretty. But I really am leaning towards getting a Switch. However, there's no bundle for the Switch yet, is there? I don't think there is, or are they sold out of them already? Because every time there are Switches in stock.
Yeah.
Walmart, Target, GameStop, they've all got them.
Yeah.
I want one that comes with a game. I'm not paying $300 for nothing.
Yeah.
What game? Is it like some demo or something? Or is it called? Is it just something where you just do this?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Because I want a Breath of the Wild one. They're gonna make one eventually. They have to. It's like their biggest selling game. I mean,
think so.
Freaking PSVR that came out like I'll say a year ago maybe.
I think so.
Now there's several bundles. There's the Doom bundle, virtual fucking reality. It's called.
Oh really?
Yeah, the VFR edition, virtual fucking reality. Well, that's what BFG stands for. It's big fucking
gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I want to get something. That or what's that fucking game? L.A. Noire. Oh, I love that game. And I want to play the new one, but dude, oh my god, like to pick up Breath of the Wild, because I'm gonna 100% that fucking game. I 100%ed the original Ocarina. I got all the bottles. That was a bitch. You had to kill all the Poes in Hyrule Field. I 100%ed that. I have it on the DS, but I never 100%ed it. Yeah, 3DS. I never 100%ed that. Just the fact of I know how long it is, Breath of the Wild, and its speedrun record is 40 hours. I think someone just did it recently though.
Yeah, it's
someone
a big game.
Someone killed the boss right away. The head boss. Is it Ganon?
It is.
Is
Ganon.
it really?
Yeah, it is.
Cool. Because they didn't have Ganon in Twilight Princess.
He was in there.
Was he?
It was Ganon was in Twilight Princess.
I thought it was Zant or whatever the fuck his name is.
Zant was working for Ganon.
Oh, dude, I played it on the GameCube. I didn't even get it on the Wii.
I loved it on the GameCube simply because
I was fine with it.
Simply because I do like Link being a lefty. I am a lefty myself.
Okay. So you didn't play the fucking...
I didn't play the Wii version, no.
No. I remember a bunch of my friends saying, God, I wish I had this on GameCube. Because everybody had a Switch when it came out. Remember that? Or not Switch.
The Wii.
The Wii.
Yeah.
The Wii was like the biggest selling console of all time. And it was just a fucking stick. And that started... Can you believe, like... I just want to talk about this quick. How Nintendo is looked at as the underdog.
Yeah.
Now, I'll be honest, I don't have many Nintendo things out there. I have a 3DS.
Yeah.
That's it.
I saw that.
Yeah. And I'm going to get a Switch eventually. Mm-hmm. I did not buy the last two consoles. I did not buy a Switch or a Wii U. I did not buy a Wii.
I didn't either.
Now, they're looked at as the underdog. Oh, fucking Nintendo, little kid, can't keep it going, ha ha ha. They changed the industry multiple times. Multiple. The Wii by itself, when it came out, everyone's like, what the fuck is this thing?
But a year later... It sounds so fast.
Oh, yeah. You couldn't, for a year straight, you couldn't get on the shelf.
Actually, I think even some more surprising is the Switch has become their fastest selling console.
Of all time.
Of all time.
I think
even
it might
faster
be...
than the Wii.
I think it might be their saying...
Simply because I think it's more of... With the Wii U... Oh, poor Wii U.
No, I don't feel bad for it.
I think they tried a little too hard to get back to like the hardcore gamers and to try and help with the third-party publishers, which still really didn't. But then, I think another problem too is that the Wii U never had its own dedicated Zelda game.
Nope.
It never had its own dedicated Zelda game.
No, it didn't have Skyward Sword.
It didn't have Skyward Sword. That was on the Wii.
It remastered...
they had Wind Waker HD.
Yeah, the sailing one, yeah.
Which, that looks gorgeous. I will say that. I played a little bit of a demo of it at GameStop.
Oh, I played it at Target. I remember that when it was
that just looked beautiful.
Yeah.
And they did have Twilight Princess HD. There's also Hyrule Warriors, which was... I mean, I'm not big into, like, Dynasty Warriors games, really. And and Hyrule Warriors was from the guys who did that.
Mm-hmm.
So I was kind of... Breath of the Wild is, like, the first actual, like, Zelda game on the Wii that was on the Wii U. But even then, it's just, like... hardly anyone's going to get it because you've got a brand new console to get it on.
Yeah, I was going to say Breath of the Wild it came out for the Wii U, didn't it?
It came out for the Switch and the Wii U. He's not watching this because I have him blocked because I hate his guts. But Kessel showed me Breath of the Wild. Yeah, really?
Me and him got into a big fight. And
I
don't care. He showed me Breath of the Wild on the Wii U. And he's like, I like it on the Wii U. I don't really think it's that great on the new console. I like it on the Wii U because I'm like, fuck, you know what the fuck you're talking about. You're not a gamer. You might have been back in the 64 days, but you don't know what the fuck you're talking about anymore, man. Whatever. I mean, I want to play it so bad, but like, everyone's telling me like, don't buy it yet. Not yet. Buy it, but not yet. 1, there's no online. 2, there's no games. 3, you're gonna play Zelda, and then it's just gonna have dust on it. And sadly, my friend Shane did that. Like, I don't think he finished it, but I remember when I lived with him, he bought it, and then he barely played it. That's him. That's just him.
That was him. Because when I bought Breath of the Wild, it was like the only thing I played for like a stretch of like maybe a week or so before I played anything else.
Yeah, that says something.
I mean, but once again, that was me.
Yeah, it goes both ways.
I mean, I also got, what is it, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
I'm not a big Mario Kart fan.
No?
Never played it. Even growing up, I've never played it.
Oh, really?
No, I never played the original either. I was like...
I never played the original, but I got into it on 64.
Mm-hmm.
So, I've played pretty much every one since then. Super Mario Odyssey is really good.
That's what I that's what I hear. Odyssey.
Super Mario Odyssey. That is the first Mario game that I actually got excited for.
Really?
Because you know, don't get me wrong, Mario is fun. Like I'll play Mario games and I'll enjoy them, but like I never get super excited for like a Mario game to come out. Like I'm not big time Mario fan. Odyssey was the first one that I was legitimately like excited to play, and it came out on the same day as Origins and Wolfenstein 2. And
I remember that big day. It was a big day.
Yeah, and I just immediately played Odyssey. I immediately played Odyssey out of those 3.
Oh, you bought all 3?
I got all 3.
Jesus Christ.
And Origins, I still have to beat. Wolfenstein 2, I've barely touched. And Odyssey, I have maybe 40, 50 hours in. It's a really big game, too.
Yeah, no, I heard my buddy and his wife finished it, and they said it's one of the best games I've ever played. Watching them play it, I didn't think so, but I'm sure it's different if you're actually doing it.
Oh, yeah.
Plus I walked in and they were doing it in like a middle of a level. So, but I remember how excited I was. You might have to think back pretty far for this one. Super Mario Sunshine.
Oh,
do you remember that?
I love
remember
that one.
As a kid, I was like, he's got a fucking jetpack. Ah! I was so obsessed with it, but I got nowhere in it. I was terrible at it. I was so bad at that game, dude.
I loved it.
Colossally could not get the hang of it, and it was embarrassing. Like I traded it in right away, and then now I want to play it again so bad because like I feel like I could actually do something because I was only like 9 or 10 when it first came out.
Well,
holy shit, these chairs are uncomfortable. I mean, I have to return these.
Yeah,
like shit. Oh my god, I'm gonna fucking stand, or I'm gonna sit on the edge. They hurt so bad. They're so high up.
Yeah,
you have to put all your weight on your feet. Oh fuck! Why? I didn't know how bad I'm sorry, man. I didn't know how low the table was. God damn, dude.
I forgot what I was gonna say now.
Sorry, man.
I was gonna say, I loved Sunshine. Like I went through that game a couple of times, and that one was one I really.
Oh, you
enjoyed.
Finished it?
I finished it. I finished it a few times.
I was saying earlier, like how Nintendo changed the entire marketplace.
Oh yeah.
With first motion controls, and then I remember PlayStation had the Move, which was pretty successful. I had the SOCOM game where it was only the Move, and I bought the gun where you hook them in.
Oh yeah,
and you could fucking do that. It was a lot of fun. Like I remember, it was really frustrating. It's hard.
You could use that with I think it was Resistance 3.
Yes. Yes. Resistance 3 and Killzone 3 also.
Oh yeah.
And then and then the fucking Kinect, which is an utter disaster. Fucking then actually Games with Gold this week or this month. Fucking the 360 game is a Kinect only game. It's Brave.
What?
I think it might be Kinect only. I was gonna check it out after this and see if I needed a Kinect. Because if I do, I'm gonna uninstall it. It was free, but I'm not gonna fucking have it. Stupid. Well, I I don't like Pixar or Disney.
Oh.
I don't. Sorry. I don't like the new shit. Okay.
Oh.
Anything Disney Renaissance or behind. Disney Renaissance is Beauty and the Beast up to, I want to say Pocahontas, but it might be after that. To me, it's the animation style before Pixar.
Oh.
But Pixar was Toy Story.
Yes.
So, but the Disney Renaissance goes from like the late 80s to maybe the early 2000s. Where they still drew and painted.
Yeah.
I love those because those were dark as shit.
Yeah.
They show people die all the time. The new ones, no one dies.
Yeah.
I like dark Disney. Like,
yeah, there you go.
Dude, Walt was a dark dude, and like if you look at his early films, like Snow White especially, I had nightmares about that movie as a kid. Fuck. But Nintendo, when they went to the tablet, no one really copied them with that, but they tried. They tried doing something different, and I respect that. I do. I respect Nintendo a lot. I might not be the biggest fan, but I do respect them.
Because Nintendo's always kind of just like done things their own way. Mm-hmm. Like they've never worried about competition at all. It's just like, we're going to do things the way we want to. We're not going to worry about it.
I'm a little worried about that cardboard thing they have coming out, though.
Oh, yeah.
The fucking, what is it called?
I can't remember what it's called.
I don't know either. Yeah, the fucking, the Lobo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what the fuck? It's got like 100 different designs. And you can just go, you fold it in, you make like an accordion or piano and just play it, and it's somehow supposed to like, or did you see that one where the guy had a bow? And really? the Lobo. Dude, I'm going to show you quick. Nintendo Lobo.
Also, we're getting new Metroid Prime game, which is great. That was great seeing that at E3.
It better be called the Lobo. Because I think it might not be something. What the shit?
What the shit?
It's not working now.
Uh-oh.
Nintendo Lobo. My phone isn't working.
I mean, I can try and...
No, I just had to reopen it. Labo. Nintendo Labo. Labo. Yeah, it's like Lobo or Labo. It's coming. I don't know when it's coming out. It's pre-orderable.
It is.
Yeah, but it's all like fucking weird. It looks so weird. I don't.
It's great for Nintendo. You know, they want to try something new, whatever.
Yeah, like I said, I respect it. I'm super excited for it.
Also, forget too. You know, back in the '80s, like they literally saved video games. Too.
Yeah. No,
because you had like the awful Atari system or like the Intellivision or whatever it was, and then they came out with Donkey Kong, and it's just like they just, with that game alone, they just like single-handedly saved video games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're responsible for like they took it was really Atari that started it all, but it was Nintendo's vision and character. It was the character, really.
Yeah.
Like just the desire to have fun just permeate through that whole company, and just everything they did. They're still the king.
Oh, absolutely.
I say, and that deep down Sony and Microsoft hold Nintendo above them. And it's because of them that they try so hard to compete with each other, but they're always in the shadow of the king, because it's undeniable that they've made the best games of all time.
Because even like
fucking Halo, Horizon. No, it's true. They're great, but they're nothing compared to Nintendo.
You have, Zelda, which inspired like so many different things, like the free roaming in GTA, and
yes,
I believe it also influenced like the dungeon crawling in Dark Souls.
Oh god, yeah. Oh yeah.
Darksiders was definitely a huge Zelda.
There's Zelda lore in Dark Souls. Like,
Is there really?
It's you can tell it's influenced. Well, Bandai Namco is Japanese.
Well,
Like,
yeah.
they're all
I knew that.
like together. And Dark Souls 1 is going to Switch too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really neat.
Because that's how they announced Dark Souls Remastered.
Have you seen the trailer for it?
I saw the announced trailer.
Well, yeah, it's just
they had
he
like
lights the fire and then it just says remastered.
And I'm just like, wait, what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, dude, it's gonna be neat. I remember 1, I refused to play it with anybody else. Like, I didn't want help.
Oh yeah.
2 integrated it a lot more better, world invading and competing, but also co-op. And then 3 perfected it. Like, they had really great servers, and you could have people come in and out of your world seamlessly. And I'm excited for that to be on 1 because I'm sure I have shitty reaction time now because I beat Dark Souls 1 in like 2014. I'm fucking gonna be 5 years older than that, dude. I'm starting to suck at games, man. I can't even beat Prey on easy. I got stuck. I'm like embarrassed by it. I'm sure there's a walkthrough, but like when I was playing it the first time, it was like 2 days after it came out, and there's nothing on the internet yet for like walkthroughs and
That's
shit.
weird.
Well, for walkthroughs, like good walkthroughs where they knew they were going.
Good stuff. Okay.
Yeah, like a detailed, nice.
Because I know
walkthrough.
that was kind of weird. Because my one friend, he got God of War 3 when it first came out back on PS3, and we got to a part where like they were stuck. So we quick looked it up on internet on like YouTube, and we were still able to actually find something like on the day of release.
Yeah, I have one of the very first ever Last of Us videos on YouTube. I recorded it with my laptop's camera. I pointed my laptop camera at the TV because we didn't have anything to record it back then. I didn't have a game DVR. I didn't have any studio or anything. I had this really shitty little setup, and I just pointed it. And that was 2013, and now it's 6 years later, and like it's the stuff that just came out. You know, this is such a cliche, but like everything's so much better and easier now.
Yeah,
just so many light years ahead of it. The other day, I was at Walmart, and they're at Target too now. And I remember I bought a set of Turtle Beaches long time ago, and it was great. They're great, and I had them for years. And something plastic snapped, and I had to throw it away. It was irreplaceable. It was like 6 years old though. I was totally okay with it. I bought a headset, and it sucked. But I'm like, I guess this is what I got. And then my friend just gave me a Razer headset. It's good.
Wow.
It's good. But now I walk into Target and Walmart, and they have Turtle Beaches, $40 each. One's blue, one's green, and they're specified for the consoles. And I'm like, oh my God. They never had it this easy to choose back then. If I had this, I wouldn't have spent all this money trying to get a good headset, which I still don't have.
I use for my PS4, I have it's called a Gold headset, where basically, like, you can use it with both the PS4 and the PS3.
Yeah.
You know, just a nice little, like, USB thing you stick into the PS4.
Oh, it's USB?
And completely wireless, which is
that's
nice.
kinda neat. I have a wired one that's super easy. The little Razer I got for free, so it's like, But I was thinking about getting that $40 headset at least for. I want something because now no one's living here, so I can crank the sound up as far as I can. Yeah. And I got super lucky with my place. I'm surrounded by air on 3 sides. Okay. My bedroom is next to the next bedroom, so I don't hear anything from it because it's where people are sleeping. So by the time I'm asleep, they're getting up. I don't hear anything. But luckily, my TV is surrounded by all sides by just air. So it takes a lot for the sound to be turned up so anyone can hear it. Dude, I play fucking Horizon with the sound cranked up. I've never gotten a complaint.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Where robot dinosaurs are yelling at you, and the Aloy is just like, I can't fucking do it. Like, she's about to die. She'll yell out. She doesn't say fuck, but she'll yell at the person like, I can't do this. That's pretty neat. And like, I don't need a headset, but I'd like to just because like, they're there.
I've kind of always had to have one because before I was, living at my mom's place, and I'd be in my room and I had to have the headset there so that my mom didn't hear anything.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I remember playing Grand Theft Auto at my mom's place, and I had the sound cranked up, and she heard some of the. It was just San Andreas. Every other word is fuck and bitch, and I remember everything. She's like, "What was that?" She like walked by my room. What was that? What was that? I remember when I was like 11, and my mom walked in on me beating up a dead woman with a baseball bat on Vice City, and she ripped the game. She like, how do I get this out? How do I get this out? She started hitting buttons, and eventually a disc came out of the PS2. She grabbed it, she locked it in a case, and she put it in her room. She's like, "You're getting this back never."
Oh,
I found it eventually and just started playing it again. But dude, like
growing up back then, we only had
when parents were parents,
one TV.
Yeah.
So like we had to, if we had to play, it was in the living room, and if mom was there, it was either she watched us or it's just like you're getting off on watching something.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I got my first game console when I was, I want to say, 9. I had a PS1. That's all right. I had a PS1, and my dad got a TV from his aunt dying, I think. Whatever. It was free TV. It was huge. It was like the size of this table, but the screen was this big. It was a giant projecting tube TV, right? And and sometimes the color would cut out, so I'd be playing black and white for a little bit. And I remember playing on that, and the fucking knobs were like up here, and I had knobs.
Oh wow,
man, yeah. Then I remember every time my dad would get a new TV for his bedroom, which would be every couple of years, I would get the old one. So steadily, my quality went up until I bought my own, So, like, gosh, it's just, I remember those old days where, like, if the parents didn't know what you were doing, but if they found out, holy shit, they did something about it.
Yeah.
Parents sees what you're doing today. Doesn't blame the kid. They blame the company. Are you fucking with me, dude? Like, it bothers me. It fucking bothers me that, like, oh, now you're a parent. You didn't know this when you looked at the box. You're just like, you're sitting on your phone, and I'm gonna steal this from a comedian. Your kid's like, "Mommy, I want to buy Assassin's Creed Origins. It's got a lot of violence. It's got tits in it. Just leave me alone. I'm trying to cheat on your father." Just fucking. I stole that from a fucking comedian. But
that's great.
I don't care. Hey Sarah, what's going on? No, I was a fucking.
I think
was a shitty kid.
First console we ever had was an N64.
Yeah.
We got Pod Racer with it. I got up to the part where you and BJ were talking about that in the podcast.
Yeah, where you can't beat that final guy.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that.
I don't know his name though. But
I don't remember his name either, but
yeah.
I knew exactly what you were talking about.
Maybe, like, I don't want to spend too much time looking it up, but I want to know his name eventually because it's probably like it's some alien name, but like you fall off the stage, but there's a track underneath.
There's a track underneath,
and everybody
would like fall behind if you went down there.
Yeah, and I always fell behind no matter what, because if you slowed down
down too much when you're on the top,
everyone would knock you off.
Yeah.
I don't know how anybody do. I thought it was a bug in the game.
I would have to say my favorite Star Wars game is Republic Commando.
I never played those. I know.
No, it was only one of them.
Or that one. Yeah.
It was just that one. Oh, it was so good.
I remember it in the magazines. You get to issue commands and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's great too because I don't think because the AIs were really smart in that game. Your partner AIs, they were really smart.
Hurts my ass. I understand.
They were actually really smart in those games, and I still have yet to see a game where like the AIs were as smart as they were back in that game.
Really?
Yeah. It was great though.
Some really smart AI in Dark Souls. Well, I'm serious. There's a game I got to talk about. Kingdom Come.
I've heard it's pretty good.
I love it.
Yeah.
It does things that no other game
I've heard.
That's why. It's not about the graphics.
No.
The gameplay is kind of choppy, but it's about the new stuff. It's about new shit, like new ideas.
Yeah, because I've heard if you have blood on you, it'll affect a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And, you have to
You have to kiss the nobility's ass to get anywhere in your life.
Oh, really?
You have to call everyone my lord, and you have to have nice clothing, like you said. You have to go polish your weapons. You have to sharpen your weapons. You have to do laundry. You have to You have to learn how to read. You have to pay someone to teach you to read. That was tough because you don't have any money in the beginning.
Oh.
You get paid there's this one guy that'll give you $20 to dig up a dead body and take a ring off his finger. But if you get caught, you have to bribe guards to look the other way. Dude, it's not there's another quest where my friend said you can get shit without money. You say, I don't have the coin now. He goes, I'll charge you some interest. Here's a new sword. And if you run away, if you try to leave town without paying him, he'll come after you and he'll send a posse after you. And he'll cut you down in the road. It's not like Lord of the Rings where it's super epic. Every time they saw someone die from being killed on horseback, it's just one swing to the back and you hear it click on their back, because that's how it was. Yeah. If you slice someone's back, they're and they fall. And it's really realistic. It's not super extravagant, and it's not we're
good old Hollywood.
It's not it's not Hollywood at all. There was a cool Hollywood moment though where this guy was doing a last stand against these evil dudes. And he was a sword master, but he was also a blacksmith, so he didn't look like it. And these guys were charging at him, and he had the sword laying on the ground, and you couldn't see it in the grass. He goes, please, no, just he fell to his knees, and he's like, oh, look, we got a beggar here. And when he turned away to point, guy fucking swung up and sliced all the way up his face. And blood's just squirting out his face. He's he falls down on his knees and he's holding his face, and then he chops down through here. You just see his eyes roll up.
Oh, that's great.
Yanks it out, and then he just falls over, and he ends up killing 6 dudes before eventually they do kill him. But that was a little Hollywood. And they were playing this awesome Czechoslovakian music behind it. And
that's great.
Dude, it's a different fucking game. The combat is so hard.
Oh yeah.
But once you have to learn the techniques in the game. You have to pay to learn the techniques.
Oh really?
Yeah. If you're looking, you have to look in the direction you're going to swing the sword. So if you want to swing up, you have to look down, and then you can hold it for power. But here's the thing: if you look too long in a certain direction, your enemy will notice that, and he'll be able to block it easier. So if you have to look down and then up, and then you have to look horizontally, or you have to stab. And the same thing for you. You can watch them where their wrist is going to be. You have to watch their fucking elbow.
Oh, wow.
You have to watch their elbow, and you have to try to anticipate that. There's also techniques where you can lock your arm up in their shield, and then you can bash them and then use their own weapon against them. It's really tough. It's not like a 2-button combo like in other games. You have to really you have to practice. You have to pay people to let you practice.
Oh wow!
You have to pay the guy who owns the practice ring. He's like, "Can I practice here for a half hour?" And then you have a timer, and then once that runs out, he kicks you out. And if you're on there after hours by yourself, you get in trouble and you can go to jail.
Oh wow!
They thought of everything, dude. It's so cool.
Wow, that's great.
We all bought it without even knowing what it was, me and a couple of my friends.
Oh, yeah?
And, it was really cool because as we're figuring shit out, we're like, oh, hey, if you go over here, there's, a sword behind a wall or something, hidden. And then there was one where, I said, oh, there's a group of bandits in this area, but they're sleeping at this time, so make sure you kill them. Then my friends went there, and they're like, they're not here. And then he said when he was looting their shit, they came back from a deer hunting expedition and they killed him. So they have their own schedules. Yeah.
Wow, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
That's another thing too they did really different in Breath of the Wild. All the NPCs have their own schedules.
Yeah. Oh, that's so neat. That's how they all are in Kingdom Come. Yeah,
and especially for a Zelda game, because you're used to them where it's just like they stand around, or it's just like they walk around in a certain part. It's like they all had their own schedules. You'll find NPCs out in the wild, like out of towns and stuff. There are 2 NPCs you can meet where they'll actually like fight monsters too.
God, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Seriously, I want to play it so bad. Like, I could go there right now and get a Switch. I have plenty of money.
Oh, yeah.
It's just, man, I have to finish. I've had the Arkham games for 2 years, and I haven't finished them. I finished Arkham Asylum. I'm in the process of playing Arkham City. I'm really near the beginning still. I have to buy Arkham Origins. I want to play that. No, that's what I hear. I'm not supposed to play it. Because it was done by a different company, I heard. It wasn't Rocksteady. It was somebody else. I
heard it was different. I never played it, so it's just like, meh.
But I want the total story. That's just me. And then
that's understandable.
I'm going to Arkham's Knight. I got to play that. Then those are the first two I've had since like 2 years ago on Black Friday. I never finished them.
Oh, yeah.
And then my friend bought me Prey for my birthday last year.
Oh.
And I still didn't finish it. I told him I felt terrible. I was like, "No, dude, do whatever."
I have too many games I need to finish. Too many I need to finish. I've got to finish, as I said before the podcast, I still have to beat Fallout 4.
That's insane. I can't believe you haven't done that.
I haven't beaten the story yet.
What, have you beaten any of the storylines? There's more than one. There's like 4.
Oh, is there really?
There's the first half. Did you find out where your kid is?
Like in the Institute?
You found out that's it? That's all you know of?
That's about it.
Oh, Jesus. Good thing I didn't say anything.
Cause
oh, my God. I could have ruined your life. Not really, but, it would have been bad because it's a big fucking reveal about what happened.
I killed that one dude that was working with the Institute that had
Kellogg.
Yeah, that had kidnapped your kid.
Dude, his pistol's so fucking good. The fucking bolt, the cannon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
I need to finish The Witcher 3.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
That's a long one.
That's a really big one.
That's a tough game.
I just finished up the storyline with the Baron.
The Bloody Baron?
Yeah.
Did he live?
No.
No, me neither. It's okay. What'd you do with the botchling?
The botchling? Oh, I turned it into a bubblekin, I think it was called, or whatever.
Okay.
Like the friendly ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I did with that.
I think I did the same thing. But yeah, the Baron killed himself.
Yeah.
Pretty sad.
And then I'm in Novigrad with Triss.
It's been a while since I've been to that old of the part of the game, like the early section, because I played it over the course of like 2 years, on and off, and I finally finished it. Are you going to play the add-ons, Hearts of Stone, Blood and Wine?
Maybe.
You should.
I've heard.
The ending of Hearts of Stone can be really awesome or heartbreaking. The end. I got the worst ending for Blood and Wine.
Oh, really?
It was really sad.
Oh.
I also got the best ending, though, for the main game. I got the absolute best ending.
That's cool.
I won't tell you what it is, but it is the happiest, coolest ending. There's like 30 endings. Did you know that?
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
There's one. If it depends on how you. It takes in a lot of decisions, like who lives, who dies, who is Kira Metz. Do you know that?
Yeah.
There's one where it ends where she's dead on a stick outside of a town.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's got a fucking pole rammed up her ass, and it comes out of her mouth, and she's naked, because there's that order that they issued where all witches must be tried or whatever, and they find her guilty. That's one ending. I won't that's not major to the plot. That's just something that might happen.
Something that happens.
It could happen.
It might happen with me.
It did not happen with me.
No.
But it's easy to avoid. Just be nice. Be a nice guy to everybody and you'll do fine. I thought I was a nice guy to everybody in Blood and Wine, and I still got the worst ending.
Oh, wow.
I think that's why they did it. They wanted to throw people for a loop. I kind of bailed on Hearts of Stone. Like, I finished it, but I didn't try very hard. And if you neglect certain things, I hope.
It's also kind of shocking to me.
You should finish it so I can talk about it
when
with you.
I found out that you can fail quests.
Yeah.
I
love those. I love games like that.
There was
you fuck up
one
and you
quest
keep going.
I failed. There was the girl where you try and make a potion for her at the very beginning of the game.
Yeah.
And if you go to the next big map, you'll fail it because the girl will die from her injuries.
Well, yeah. You gotta hurry up.
So it's just like, I'm like, what?
Yeah. It's a hard lesson, man. On Kingdom Come, they do a good job of indicating when you need to hurry up. Like, quickly, you need to meet him at the gate, pronto, or quickly now. If they say, hey, when you get a chance, go see Sir Luthien or whatever by the gate. When it says when you get a chance, anytime.
Anytime.
When they say hurry up, if you don't get there soon enough, you could fail the quest. You could fail the main quest. They've done that where if you can fuck up the entire game and have to restart.
Oh wow!
Yeah. If you die, that's fine. They give you a game over and you restart. If you don't show up for a certain thing, you might, depending on what quest it is or the severity of the quest. It's like, oh, in this quest, you were supposed to actually save the king's son. Now you're responsible for his death. The king's not going to fucking help you. Therefore, you're not going to discover the guy who killed your parents. Good luck with that, bitch. There's also, if that happens, someone found a way that if you go to the area where the main villain is, you can kill him without the help of the king. But it's really hard because you have to fight an army alone.
Oh, wow.
An actual army. It's like a garrison of 50 dudes.
Oh,
yeah. And they're all in Black Knight armor. They're knights.
Wow.
I tried to attack a knight the other day. I snuck up behind one and it says choke out, so I clicked it. And normally it's supposed to show you go like that and they pass out. Right as my guy, it's all in first person too. I slipped my hands over and he pushed them off. I tried to swing my sword, or no, I had an axe. I did a downward swing. He grabbed my wrist, kicked me in the gut, took my axe, and drove it through my head, and I died in one hit.
Wow.
And it wasn't a cinematic. It was all in first person. So the last thing I see is me doing this, and the axe comes through your fingers and hits you like that, and you're just dead.
Wow.
In first person. That's fucking scary.
That's crazy.
You see it come through and just crunch right on your fucking skull.
Wow.
It's fucking rad, dude. I love
That's
it.
pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, it's a great game. $60, it's a little pricey for a gamble. There's no way to try it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no demo, and unless no one buys physical copies of it for some reason. I don't know why, but I bought it digital. I'm not trading games in anymore.
Are there physical copies of it?
There are, but only at GameStop. I haven't seen them in any of the stores.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very indie game. It got picked up by I don't know who it is, but it got picked up by a major developer not too long ago. It was a very small game thing in Europe. It's maybe a couple hundred people, and they paid for most of it by themselves.
Yeah.
But the publisher said, we're going to put this in the store for you. We'll get this out. And that way you can have some success because they thought it was really good and they deserved a chance. So
that is pretty cool.
Yeah, well, that's how everything gets picked up.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. It's like it is cool how they were like, you know what, this is something special. You guys put a lot of time and there's so many new ideas in this.
Yeah.
So we're going to give you a shot. And it's selling very well. Thank God, because that means that means they can support it and they can do other things.
Mm-hmm.
So
maybe a sequel.
Possibly. I do have a couple of things. Are you going to any like upcoming rock shows? I forget if you go to those or not. You go to concerts and shows and shit.
Once in a blue moon.
Yeah.
The last concert I was at was a Nightwish concert.
Nightwish.
You don't know Nightwish?
I've heard of them. Are they like metal?
They're orchestral metal.
Oh, okay.
They're from.
That's kind of cool. Like Apocalyptica.
Norwegian. Yeah.
Norway.
Yeah. They're kind of like Apocalyptica.
Are they like satanic? Because a lot of European metal bands are satanic.
No, they don't have the satanic look to them. No.
Okay. Well, that's cool. You going to like Rock USA or any of that? Like,
I haven't done it yet. I really want to sometime. I just have never gotten around to doing it.
Sure. I actually got tickets to Metallica a couple of days ago.
Oh, really?
I saw them in Chicago last July. Without a doubt, the loudest show I've ever been to.
Oh, yeah.
My ears rang for 2 days. Just, oh my, and they play like all their hits. It was really good.
That's great. That's awesome.
Also, it's the last Warped Tour this year.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
So I'm expecting a lot of cool bands there. We're gonna go at the gate. That's a gamble because it's you walk around and go to different stages, and then the bands are there. But I mean, that's a bit of a gamble. I mean, it might, unless it's a big Summerfest grounds. It's huge. It's like a square mile of just space.
Wow.
But if like you're shoulder to shoulder with people, they might say fuck off at the gate. Then you drove to Milwaukee for no reason.
Yeah.
But well, we got like 15 minutes left. I mean, we can go under or over. It's fine. But I wanted to talk about. I experienced something about, I want to say 2-3 days ago. I had this Facebook post about this girl that I saw on the Facebook, and I don't think she's watching today, so who cares? And she posted something about how people who go to parties.
Oh, I think
that one. Yeah,
I read that one.
Yeah.
Like they go and like they used to go to parties and stuff, and now all of a sudden they're like a kid, and
they have a kid and they judge everybody. Like, I don't know why. You have to do this. Do you have a problem with your life? Do you think your life isn't fulfilling? You should have a baby. And it's like I said, I remember her being at a fucking party, and she's like, "You have to come here." You like telling other girls, "Please come here." And like,
she was like,
they're like, they came back, and she's like, "She got fucking coming right."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "What?" And she goes, "Yeah." She fucking blew this guy, and then he didn't help her clean up, and he shot it in her hair, and he walked out, and he was just fucking fist bumping all his bros, and she's like sitting there like, it's everywhere. So like. And then I got so many likes and comments for that.
Yeah.
And my phone was blowing up all day. Okay. The next day, I mean, no one was really talking about it. So I was like, well, I want that feeling again of like being, cool for like a little bit. And then I realized it wasn't happening. And I posted some status and I didn't get any attention for it. And I'm just like, oh, I want that feeling. And eventually that craving went away. Right. Yeah. So I think, and I'm not one of those people that's like, well, I'm a service dog or whatever, but I think social media can be an addictive substance.
It can be. Oh,
like when you wake up, usually when I wake up, I've got like 20 notifications. Some are from groups I'm in, some are from stuff I've liked or commented on, but not all of it's for me,
I can relate to it a bit, not quite on Facebook.
Sure.
But I'm on DeviantArt.
Yeah,
I think I told you about that.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about that.
And so, wait, one second. Are you still on it? Do you still do it? Oh, yeah, I still do it.
Tell people how they can reach you, because I want them to check it out.
I might give you a link if you want to and share it, whatever.
Don't you have it's on DeviantArt and it's under the name?
Scorch62MSC.
There, you guys got it now.
Go. And so it's like, I write stories, for fun. I have fan fictions I'm working on, 4 of them. And it's great to see like comments and all the feedback that goes to it, that people can make to it. And I guess sometimes I can be kind of annoying about it, or at least I feel like I'm annoying about it. I'm just like, can you comment, please?
Yeah,
it'd be great.
You want feedback.
Yeah.
Do you feel you feel like you're annoying because it's like you feel like you're attention grabbing?
I feel like I'm attention grabbing just a little bit, but
yeah. Well, I mean, you see all this fucking YouTube people who are like comment, subscribe. It's fucking right on the fucking door. It's like, okay. We will do that. Well, I mean, I always tell people, tune in. Like, it's part of it. It's part of it. It's part of the internet. It's part of selling yourself on the internet. Like, I'm selling myself right now. You're selling yourself on DeviantArt. That's just how you do it.
Yeah.
That's how it is. And yes, I'm one of those people that I get annoyed with myself too. Like, I'm self-promoting so much. Do you know, I'm not joking about this, and I'm sure everyone's going to be like, oh, you're bullshit. You're full of shit. I feel bad when I say, oh, this one time on my podcast, and now people have to ask, you have a podcast? It sounds like I'm baiting them to ask me about my podcast. I should have a shirt that says,
ask me about my podcast.
Or save it for the podcast. Like, instead of talking. Like, now people are asking me, do you just want to talk to have me on the podcast? I'm like, oh, I feel terrible because it would be great to have people on here.
Yeah.
But
at the same time,
but they think that's the only. They think that's
the only way to talk to you.
Yeah, and I don't want that. Like I said to you the other day.
Yeah, you were like,
I felt terrible.
Messenger.
Yeah,
and I'm just like, okay, cool.
I felt really bad because I was like, let's not talk right now. Save the podcast. I'm like, so now he probably thinks that as soon as the podcast is done, I'm not going to talk to you again until I have you on next time. I was going to never do that, man. That's terrible. And like, I'm sure you didn't think that, but I thought that. And I'm like.
I know that's true.
Dude, it was. I felt bad about it, and I was
that's why I was up until like 1 o'clock in the morning. I was writing.
Good, you should. That's awesome. That's awesome that you're passionate about that.
Actually, it's been a long time since I've been I think 2 weeks ago, I finally got like just a huge kick in the ass for motivation to finally start writing again. Because like before that, I've had just long droughts of writing where it's just like I'll write a little bit for a while and then all of a sudden just nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. A few weeks ago I'm finally consistently writing. I'm trying to make sure I work on something every day, and if I can maybe do a certain amount of writing for each day. I've only missed writing or at least working on story stuff only a few days since then.
Good.
So
that's awesome.
That was really great for me to finally just write and get stuff done and
see some product from your labors and stuff. Yeah, that's good. What was their motivation? What finally got you going?
I think it was a commission I got. I pay for pictures of my characters. I put those on DeviantArt as well.
To pay?
Yeah, there are people I know on DeviantArt where they'll draw pictures of your characters, but you pay them for it because it's basically their job.
Oh wait, you make a character and then they draw it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or rather, I have a picture of a character already, and then maybe I want to have them in a certain scenario or something like that in the picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's what it is. And I don't know what it was specifically. I don't know what commission it was specifically that I got. But it's I think I got a little bit later, and I'm finally just kind of well, fuck, I want to start writing again. Son of a bitch. And one of the biggest problems for me with writing is before I would just kind of go gung-ho and just wing it when writing a chapter.
Mm-hmm.
And so later on, I'd get to a certain part and it's just well, I don't know what I want to do next. Or I don't know how I'm going to transition things or whatever. And so now what I'm doing is I make an outline of a chapter first. and to see if I can kind of like figure out like what's going to happen in the chapter and whatever. Then I write the chapter down in like notebook first, and then I type it up and then post it. So I think it's also helping me to at least outline stuff and figure out what I'm going to do in each chapter. That's kind of like at least helped me for the moment keep going with writing. Good,
man. That's awesome. I'm glad, like, I'm really happy to see, like, projects take off from people. Like, when I was a lot younger, like, maybe in my 20s or 18, like, I remember when people would try to do YouTube channels, like, that I knew, and they're like, I'm like, I would always put them down because I'm like, you think you're going to make it? You think you're going to be famous? What the fuck? But I'm like, at the time, you can tell who, like, wants to do it to be famous. Yeah. And then you can, because I actually know a girl.
As opposed to,
who's doing it for love, yeah. I know a girl.
More of just, wanting to do it because they love to do it.
Yeah. I know a girl once who started doing her own talk show kind of like this.
Yeah.
But she said the reason she was doing it is because she wanted to be famous. And she said the reason she wanted to be famous is because they never have to, she's like, famous people never have to do anything. They're never, they don't have to work. They just go to parties and that's it.
My
with
God.
other famous people. Like, one, that is not fucking true.
No.
They work their asses off.
Oh, yeah.
Two,
absolutely.
Two, you really want a life like that, you'll be bored to tears in minutes. And you will, a lot of people who are rich and successful like that, by chance or by no work, they usually end up killing themselves. Sad to say. But,
yeah, even, I don't know if you saw it, I changed, like, my cover thing on Facebook. And that's all.
Is that something you did?
I didn't do that. That's a collage of different pictures I've gotten. Have you watched Bleach?
No.
No?
I'm not a big anime fan, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
So one of my fan fictions is a Bleach fan fiction I have. And I have all of my own characters I've created for it. I don't have it connected to the actual, canon series and stuff. And so that was like pretty much just like a group picture of like a bunch of my characters I have for that. And it was so great because now I finally kind of like have some other characters that I finished. And so just seeing it all start to like come together and I have all this shit done, it's just like, it's given me just a swift kick in the ass of motivation.
That's awesome. No, it's really good. Like, it's cool to like I said, it was cool to see people and like friends of mine get projects started off the ground, and like they, no matter what obstacles come in your way, you persevere and you just keep fucking busting it.
Yeah.
And I really dislike it when people start things and then
they just fall flat.
Well, if you fall flat from trying, it wasn't for you. Good try something else. But when people are, they run into one fucking snag, and they're like, "Well, fuck this, don't try anymore."
And it's just like, well, then.
Like, I get it if you like run out of money or some shit, but like, thank God I don't need money for this.
Yeah.
This is the only thing that this is doing is running out my electric bill, which I'm fine with that. I have a high electric bill anyway from all my gaming stuff, so I'm fine with this. And I'm really happy. Like, you got something going, like a side thing. And I cheer on anybody and support anybody that's got shit like that, trying to get something off the ground, and especially if you're not trying to make some fucking money for it. I have nothing against money. I love money. I'm a capitalist. I love buying. I love buying shit. Trust me. I love buying and selling, and I love businesses. Love them, big and small. But like, if I was doing this for money, I guarantee I'd have a lot less fans. Probably. Because I'm like, fucking donate to my crowd fund. Keep this going. If this cost me money, I probably wouldn't even do it.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I don't want to try to recoup this cost by asking people for money. I hate that.
Yeah.
I hate doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to have people come on here and have good conversations, or just talk.
Yeah.
I've had bad conversations. I've had people get mad at me on air before.
Oh, really?
Oh, sure. Some of the early ones, Some of the early ones, one of my friends calls me a motherfucker, and I can tell he's angry at me. And then I just say, oh, okay, well, that was back when we had 4 mics and we had 6 people come on, and we would crank the gain this wasn't here. This is at my friend's place. We'd crank the gain up on all of them, so we would sit around and just yell, so that way it would sound regular as we would pick up our voices. And there's a couple of times where we were either drunk or we were just might have been something else too, but we were all just not really right in our heads, and we would just scream at each other sometimes and just be pissed. But it just anyways, I love the fact that you got that DeviantArt thing going. I think that's really cool. And actually,
I think you know one of the stories, because I'm working on
you did tell me about one of them
I've got a Pokemon story I'm working on too.
Oh, nice.
I have my own region I've worked on.
When you finish that, you'll have to send it my way.
I've got 1 chapter done.
How many chapters are you gonna do?
I have no idea.
I thought of a fan fiction I wanted to write one time, but
I think you told me about that. It was a Zelda one, I think.
Oh yeah, Zelda one where he says no.
Where I have one of those too.
Where he just says "fuck off."
Yeah,
and then
he told me about that.
And then the disaster happens, and he has to spend a majority of it trying to get Pat, because it's in that where the prophecy does come true, and he becomes an old believer, but he has to tell everybody else how sorry he is, and he's got to work back the loyalty of those people, or the one where you find out that Ganon wasn't Ganon. I have one where you can use this if you want. I had an idea where the Gerudos were being persecuted, and the beginning of it was going to be Link at a tournament, like a knight's tournament, and he was going to succeed, and he won a contract to go kill Ganon. But then once he started getting there, he found out that they were just attacking the Gerudos they wanted the valley, and they were going to invade it after he killed Ganon. And then he found out that the Hyrulean, the aristocracy or whatever, he finds out that they lied to him the whole time, and then Ganon refuses to kill him. He beats the shit out of him, and then right before he says, "I'm not going to kill you," and finally he tells him all this. He says, "This war's been going on for 50 years, and you're just another." He says, "Oh, you have the green hood, you got the shield and the sword." And he tells him how he's like, "Let me guess, they did this, they did this, they did this." He goes, "How do you know all this?" And he goes, "You're the 15th or 16th person that's tried to do this."
Oh wow!
And you're just another cog in the machine. And he would I had him originally dying of a broken heart because he felt betrayed by his country, or I was going to have him just leave. Link was just going to take all his stuff and just leave the country. And then the ending of it would be the next tournament.
Oh, and another one.
And the next kid would be there you go, congratulations. And the final shot would be, "Are you ready to undertake this task?" And you just see him go. And right before he says yes, it was just cut out, because it was the same look. He was all excited to fight for Hyrule.
Yeah.
And then you find out that they're just in it for resources and position of the Gerudo Valley and shit. But that's just an idea. I wouldn't flesh it out or anything. I just thought of it. I thought of a Skyrim fan fiction. The way that I played the Skyrim the first time, I did the main quest, I did the Thieves Guild and the Dark Brotherhood, I did I think I did the Civil War, and then I did a lot of exploration, where I just kind of went around and did random shit, and then the very end, I think I did Dragonborn, the DLC.
Oh yeah.
And I chopped it up into 5 sections, and I would do 5 films. And the first one would be called, is kind of cliche, but I would do a Skyrim Revelation, which is where it is revealed that he is the Dragonborn. And then I would do Skyrim, and they would all be shun at the end. So I would do Revelation, and I'd do Skyrim Exhalation, which is exile, which means that, yeah, you are the Dragonborn, but you're a freak.
Yeah.
And we don't like that. So you were never allowed in the main city, which would be Whiterun. So then exhalation, meaning he's exiled from the city, but he's still alive, and he'd be roaming around with the Thieves Guild in the shadows. And then he would be the Dark Brotherhood, learning how to be stealthy. And then in the Civil War one, I would have him, he would also have like a brother or something. And there's always a prophecy that said the one of dragon blood would come back to rule the kingdom. And then at the end, they would bring in, like, the Dragonborn would be to fight, but his brother would be the one to, he was a talker instead of a fighter. He was a politician. And then at the end of that, I would have, the prophecy would be revealed, where the third one I would call it Reclamation, where they reclaim the throne of Skyrim. And instead of the Dragonborn, the prophecy's not about the Dragonborn.
Oh.
It's about his brother.
Wow.
Whereas it never says it says how did I base this? I think I said he and the dragon blood, who is also his brother, it never specifies, he will bring around a rule with a weapon mightier than the sword. And I thought, well, everybody would think, oh, it's his ability to shout, his dragon, and and it would also say something about the power of the voice, the dragon voice. But instead,
it's smooth talking.
The voice of your smooth talking, and what's mightier than the sword is the pen. So you could sign in laws, and it was his brother would take the throne, because it would be not about the Dragonborn. You were just a soldier. You were just a guy who you thought it was you. And then I would do one called Desolation, which he would go in the wild and then kind of roam around looking, dungeoneering and stuff, just having fun, like looking at treasures. And then I would do one called, the last one would be called Annihilation, which would be you find, and each film would take place 10 years after the last one. He starts when he's like 20, and then the last one would be 70 maybe, or 60 even. But I mean, my dad's 60 and he's not in horrible shape, so like it would be possible. Plus he's a Dragonborn, he's already powerful. And I would do it would be like where his brother dies and he has no children, and his brother is killed by like somebody he wronged years ago.
Oh, wow.
Or I established in the first one that they had a sister, but she died.
Oh.
But they found out she was closer to being too much dragon, so they got rid of her. They sold her to like a slaver, and then she came back, kills her brother, draws her other brother out of hiding, the Dragonborn, and then tries to get him to, like, we could rule Skyrim as the two Dragonborns. We're descendants of the dragons. But instead, he refuses, and then she joins all these armies because they hate him anyway. They say that you're a freak, you're just a Dragonborn. We don't want you. So the whole world unites against him.
Oh.
And then Annihilation would be, he has nothing to lose, so he would just annihilate all his enemies. And he would. I have this idea for like a final battle where like it's super graphic, and he wears like this armor that he's working on for like 3 separate stories, and he would finally defeat her, and then his only 2 friends left would be like the leader of the Thieves Guild and the leader of the Dark Brotherhood, because he helped everybody in the shadows, and he saved the common folk, but they regard him as a freak.
Yeah.
But it was the people in the shadows that loved him, the beggars, and then they would hold him one last time as he's dying because he's exhausted, and they would say, the prophecy states that you would defeat all the evils.
Oh.
Including yourself. Because you're evil. You're a dragon. You're a freak.
Yeah.
And then I would have him either leave the continent, or they would stab him to death like Julius Caesar. They would all just stick knives in him. And then he would watch and die, like, tragically, as a broken heart. And then after that, I would have them say, there was no prophecy. We couldn't have a freak living with us. We said it. Well, no, they knew about the Dragonborns, and they were trying to eliminate them. And says, well, why don't we just manipulate one to kill everyone else? So it would be there was no prophecy. They just planned it that far in advance.
That's pretty cool.
I think, but that would take so fucking long to write out, and I'd have to do. That's just the outline. I would have to like flesh it out too.
Oh yeah.
But
I've
yeah, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I think I've had a lot of time at work to think about shit like this. So.
Oh yeah, well I
Yeah.
think about my story stuff too when I get mine at work, because I've got a lot of like end story stuff, like stuff towards the end.
Yeah.
For the majority of my stories, where it's like, okay, I know this is stuff that I want to do. It's just a matter of actually getting to it.
You need a body of work.
Yeah.
I see. That's I have a problem with that too. I have an idea for how it should end, and I have a beginning. I gotta fill in I have a beginning and an end usually. It's like this is how it's gonna start. This is what I want to happen at the end. How do you get there? And I've heard a lot of people say that's how it is.
There are a lot of times, most times, where I've started a story and I wasn't too sure how to start it, and it's just kind of like I just kind of like randomly started it and just go from there. Just wing it and go from there.
One of the processes I've thought was kind of cool when I wrote stories when I was like 16, 17, like quite a bit during high school when I was supposed to be doing homework. And I remember a really helpful technique was cobble it together, meaning get some clay and like let's say you wanted to build something out of clay. Let's say you want to make a statue.
Okay.
Well, first, you're not going to sculpt it perfectly from the ground up, like little details as you're going.
Yeah.
Why don't you just throw everything together, throw it all fucking together, and it's just a lumpy, sloppy mess.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, now it's together.
Yeah.
Now read it, examine it, read your story. Well, obviously there's some shit going to be wrong with it because you threw it together in 5 minutes. Okay, we'll take out what you don't want, but at least it's done.
Yeah.
Or at least it's finished. There's a finished product. Get all the shit out that you know is bad. Read it again. Now you're noticing how things are fitting together. Maybe this little thing doesn't fit. Get that shit out. Or maybe replace it. And then you read it through again. Just keep read it again.
Reading.
Yeah. Cobble it together. Redo it. Cobble it together. Redo it. And like I found that was like the most helpful.
Yeah, I definitely started writing when I was like back in high school. I had my first one story I had that really got me going was it was an original story, which I don't work on it. I haven't touched anymore, and it's like gone through different versions of it, where I had like a character for each of my friends, and we were all kind of we were all adopted brothers together, and we were kind of like mercenaries, and we all had like also our own element of power we could use. Like I had fire, my one friend had lightning, I had another friend who had wind, and et cetera, et cetera. And it was from there that I kind of like figured out that I had fun writing. Yeah. Even if it's something that I never finished, it's just like I had fun with it, and being able to just like sit there, notebook and pen in hand, and just writing things out. I also write in cursive too. Oh, nice. So that's a dying art. Well, I mean, you can go faster with cursive. I know that. I love cursive. Yeah, I can read it, but it's just been a while since I've written it. In fact, back in high school, like I know for sure there was one time where we had to write these notes or letters to like these little kids, and the teacher had just, and I knew she was kind of talking to me specifically. She's like, "You have to write this in print." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, it's gonna be so weird." Well, it's gonna be like, this fucking little kid is gonna read in curvy letters, bitch. Well, hey man,
I was gonna ask you. I already asked it, but I was gonna ask you I like to try to do this at the end of every podcast because we're over our 2-hour mark. But that's okay. I usually go to like 2:20 anyway. But I want to ask you. I did this in the same thing with BJ's podcast. If you don't want to answer, you don't have to. But when was like the first time, like seeing as how like we're all up in our upper 20s now, and you've like had enough time in your life to like try things and fail or succeed? Like, what was the first time you like did something successful as an adult where you're like, I've crossed a threshold, I'm on the other side of failure, like here's failure, I'm in success range? It could be anything about your life. I just want to like end on a positive note, you know, like, and then just to show that, you know, you can do it, I can do it, everybody can do it. It's just motivation.
I think the first thing that pops in my mind is coming back to the writing, at least for me. Sure, it may not be, you know, like super important, at least in adult life or whatever.
No, it's only if it's important to you, then it's important.
But, you know, as I said, I started writing back in high school, and I, you know, had been going through the years and doing writing, and for I don't even know how long, it would just be I'd write stuff here and there, and then all of a sudden, like, nothing. Like, I'd go down and sit down at my notebook, and I'd just stare at it and nothing. Or there were just days where I, like, didn't even bother to try and do it, and like never crossed my mind. And so now that I'm, like, actually back to writing again consistently, I think is like a big step for me, because I've got like 4 stories I need to write that I'm posting on DeviantArt.
Yeah.
So I think for me it's a nice little small victory for me that I want to be able to keep going and get myself in the writing mindset and just be able to do that every day.
Yeah, no, it's good, man. I mean, like, you when you do something you love for a certain amount of time, but then your own fucking brain just says, nah, bitch, you ain't doing this today or tomorrow or the next month or however long.
I also have really bad ADHD, too.
Yeah. Like, I think to overcome that and do what you're doing is pretty cool. So, like, I'm sure, well, I think we all have a certain degree of ADD because we have so much technology coming at us so fast. So when you stop doing it, you know, you're bored so easily.
Yeah, I've known I've had it since like middle school.
So yeah, I have like told myself, I'm like, all right, dude, you don't have a phone in your fucking hand. Who cares? Focus up. That's just me though.
I know. Like I know there have been times where I've like been like on my laptop and I've been writing just within like the last few days, to use an example, and I'd have my Word document up on my screen, and I'd like almost instinctively, I'd go like try to go open up Chrome and like I'm gonna check this, and it's just like I am also just kind of like have to stop myself for a bit. I'm like, no, I can't. I have to fucking write.
Yeah. So yeah, you gotta like. Dude, like I said, man, I almost canceled on you today because of how shitty I felt when I woke up. But I'm like, no, puke on air. If you have to, throw up on everything if you have to, but you're doing this fucking podcast. So I get it, man. Like, it's cool to, like, it's important to recognize that, like, it's so much stuff you have to recognize when you're doing something, especially in life. You have to recognize your failures.
Oh, yeah.
You do. Absolutely. You have to be like, well, I fucked that up.
Like, I look back at my old writings, it's just like...
Well, yeah, and you should have that because that's good. That means you improved. That means you crossed a milestone from then to now. It's important to recognize progress. It's important, like you just said, you looked at your old shit and I'm like, God damn, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Good. That means you improved.
Absolutely.
And it's so important to recognize success as like, I crossed this, I'm here now. I am not going back to that old way unless for some reason I want to like improve it. I am on this side of the bridge now. I am over the hump. I am on a new playing level.
Yeah.
And like, that's important, you know?
Yeah.
My example of success I always use is my car with air conditioning.
Yeah,
First,
you were talking about that.
I've owned 3
before.
cars in my life, and I have one with air conditioning now. I never had one before this, but when I first started this, I had to have somebody show me how to hook everything up. I still have no idea how this fucking works.
Oh, really?
But like the first 3 that I did on my own, the audio was so bad it's almost unlistenable.
Oh,
Sadly, the best podcast I've ever done
was one of those.
Was Gabby. The Mexican chick, well, Latina, whatever. We had one of the best conversations about, and we hit everything. We hit every single, like we hit political, we hit family, we hit couples, we hit kids, we hit everything in the fucking realm of everything. And it was fantastic. I have like over 500 views on it.
Yeah.
And sadly, the audio's just god awful. It's so bad. I couldn't clean it up either.
Oh.
I couldn't run it through a program that like reorganizes it to make it better. I felt terrible. I felt like I let her down too. But then the next time with my buddy Jake, the DJ, I fixed everything. But then he hooked something up to my computer that like my computer's really cheap. It bogged it down, so like our voices were all distorted. But nothing against him. He didn't know, I didn't know, and that it was just a little error. And finally, we finally got it all together. And like the important thing was that I didn't stop because I got really frustrated. I felt like I didn't want to do it anymore because I'm like, who's gonna want to watch now?
Yeah.
So I'm so happy I kept doing it because like honestly, I love having people come in. That guy I did last week. I met him once. in my whole life. Yeah, and someone messaged me. He's like, "How long have you known that dude?" I'm like, "I met him once about a year ago. I met him once a year ago." And he goes, "I thought you guys have been friends for like 20 years." I'm like, "No, that's just I love talking to people, especially people I barely know."
Yeah,
because what you're seeing on this camera is completely authentic, and that's what I want to do. I don't want this edited. I don't want this to be an interview. I don't want it to be like, so, what do you think about Trump? He's a cocksucker. Yeah. Next question. No, fuck that. We're going to talk about games. We're going to talk about TV shows. We're going to talk about movies. We're going to talk about writing. We're going to talk about screenplays and movies. We're going to go up. We're going to go down, left, right, all fucking over the place. And because that's what you should do. And that's the real shit. So I'm gonna cut it here, man, because it's 2 hours and 20 minutes. I usually try to shoot for 2 hours, but I'm happy we went over. It's fine. So super happy to have you here, man. It's
happy
awesome.
To be here.
Kristian Pauli, everybody. You can find him on DeviantArt. Say it again.
DeviantArt Scorch62 MSC.
There you go. Look that up. Read some of his stories. Check out some of his drawings or art too, or just stories.
There's art of my characters.
Art of his characters.
That I've paid for.
All right. And there you go. Go check it out. Give him some feedback. He likes the comments.
Go back and read them one.
And then again, like I always say, never be afraid to talk about your emotions. Always, just get out there. Go have Starbucks with somebody you haven't talked to for a couple of years or months or whatever. Yeah, there's high anxiety about it, but it's also a lot of fun. And, once you get over that hump, you realize I can go socialize.
Because I think the last time we even talked for a period of time together was, I think, a year ago.
Yeah, exactly. We haven't spoken in almost a year, and here you are. And I loved it.
And the only reason I even got on here again was because we accidentally ran into each other at 11:11.
11:11 burger.
Yep.
I want to go have a peanut butter and jelly burger. I think I might tonight. But yeah. Go talk to someone face to face. Love technology, but there's nothing like a face to face conversation. So go try it out. All right, that's it. Say goodbye. Bye.